A pleasant good afternoon, folks, and welcome back to DreamHack Dallas 2023, where we just finished with Melee Top 8. Now it is time for Smash Ultimate Top 8, and it is going to be an incredibly fun bracket ahead of us. We're so happy that you all could join us, both in-house and at home. Like I said, it's going to be a lot of fun, and your boys next door are here to talk about it all. I'm Kimona, that's Neighbor. It's going to be a lot of fun, my man.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. There's a lot of mix of familiar faces and some new breakouts, I feel like, at the event. And one of them, I think, is one that we're going to kind of start with today. One of the breakouts, as well as the familiar faces, really. We've got the whole shebang here starting it off, and it's going to be an exciting top 8 that I hope you're excited to see a little bit of.
I'm very excited, like I said already. I think that there is always one surprise person in a top 8 at any given tournament, right? No matter how big, no matter how small, there's always somebody where you're like, oh, good for them, I didn't expect that. And like you said, that's one of the people that we're going to be seeing up first. That player that I'm referring to is not MVD, who you see on the left. We all expected him to be here, but his opponent, Hayden, on the Oklahoma PR, a Ridley player who did not get a free pass here either, had to beat J-Mafia and Ray on the bracket path to make it into top 8. And again, playing Ridley, a character that is not commonly seen.
No, I believe Skits as well, if I'm not mistaken, through that bracket. Caden has taken some names on the way to get here. And we got to watch them play a little bit yesterday. There was some VOD to review, if you will. And now, up against MVD, it's going to be a big test to see where we can take it.
There is the sort of quiz to get into the university, right? You know, you passed your admission. Now we're going to see if he can handle the college course, because MVD is playing Snake. And characters that rely on just throwing out big hitboxes willy-nilly generally do not do well against Snake, but Ridley does have one distinct advantage among those characters, and that is that he has quite a few skinny poking moves, like the forward air, the forward tilt, down tilt. All of those kinds of moves can be very, very helpful, but you're going to take a lot of damage no matter what you do, so it's about being able to match that damage output from MVD.
Oh yeah, and one of the downsides as well is one of the larger moves that you do want to juggle with, that up air, or even the nair, is harder to place in such a way that you're not proccing grenades. And we saw the start of this stock being Hayden getting clipped by grenades, and now 2 C4s back to back. It's really hard to find a clean hit on MVD that doesn't turn into a trade at best for you, and now you're getting juggled again.
Oh my goodness, and this is just what's so hard for Ridley. Honestly, I thought Halo was over there. I thought that was like another few hundred feet to our left, but as it turns out, it's also on our screen right now. It's just grenades, C4, rocket, all the things that you need to succeed in an FPS, also succeeding in Smash right now. MVD is making short work of these first couple Ridley stocks.
Yeah, non-stop. Yesterday, we also got to watch MVD on stream, but it was the loss to Doofus playing Game & Watch, so we didn't actually get to see as much of this grenade and C4 movement that is really showing off right now MVD's ability to maneuver around with a character that isn't known for being extraordinarily mobile without all of that extra technical prowess being added.
Well, I think that Snake earns his mobility through getting stage control with those grenades, with the C4, all of that, right? You have to earn your mobility because you can get around the stage, but MVD has been doing such a good job of earning that mobility. It's actually been Hayden who's been locked down, despite having great movement statistics in terms of what Ridley can actually offer, but even it's somewhat close, that down throw F tilt is always going to connect on a big body like Ridley, and MVD sends it to the blast zone to secure that game 1.
Absolutely. It was just a barrage of grenade and C4 especially. Occasionally a Nikita mixed in, just to remind you that there is no safe zone. Ridley might have wings, but there is no flying here.
It feels like I'm on the ground in like an Ace Combat game, and I'm trying to just be like, oh, look, there's the squadron over there, the one that means death for all of us.
Yeah,
and that's exactly what MVD is doing.
The entirety of Pokemon Stadium 2 felt like the collateral of any Star Fox, any Star Fox level, where you're just flying through.
Funny how all those flight combat games just never really talk about collateral damage. It's like, good job, guys, we won the fight. We shot down 150 fighter jets over this city.
And also many buildings.
And many buildings. Oops, I missed with a missile. I'm sure it's fine.
That's all right. The civilians, we didn't know them.
They didn't have any voice lines, so it's fine. We will go into game 2 right now, though, and MVD just as savage as you would expect in that game 1. We will go to a smaller stage in small battlefield here for game 2. So I guess the idea here for Kaden is don't let MVD get the chance to earn that ability to control the stage and move. Once you hit him once, keep hitting them.
Absolutely. And the smaller stage, especially with Ridley, who has such strong base knockback on a lot of moves. Oh, big back air from MVD to cancel out there very early.
Oh, that was a great
idea.
wait. I love that wait by Kaden. I talked about this to death all day yesterday, but Kaden's advantage state is so good. Has so many great reads on how you're going to act when you are getting juggled, when you are at the ledge against this Ridley, and it just keeps going, neighbor.
And this stage definitely has exemplified that because every hit almost, because of all that base knockback, and again we see that jump read off that throw, we're seeing that almost every hit will put MVD off stage or in a position where you are very suspect to getting red and disadvantaged because you have maybe 2 options available to you, an air dodge or jump.
Now you got to get around the Nikita. That nair's not going to be enough to deactivate it, and no tech is available after that hit. You see that red splash? That means there's no hope for Kaden right there. But Hope Abound right now is still playing with a full stock lead and did have a juggle going on against MVD, who really has to respect. I'm kind of surprised looking at this that the Plasma Breath does not just immediately blow up the grenades.
Yeah, I guess that is bizarre. You would think that it's fire, but maybe Plasma's its own entity in this game. I wouldn't be shocked if they gave Aura its own special.
Right, yeah.
Sakurai
Nice.
is a
MVD
stickler.
tried to catch that grenade. I think, thinking about the Plasma Breath thing, I think it might be that the grenades have like an active hitbox when they're being thrown and the plasma collides with that. It is weird. I'd love to know more about that. But, you know, as the set goes on, it doesn't matter.
I think some of the bouncing of the plasma also makes it just miss the grenades.
That has happened a couple times, yeah. Nice evasion right there by Kaden and finding a way to get right in with that Space Pirate Rush, though. Tried to read an air dodge with that back there, but MVD didn't give it up. Starting to play a little bit better in this disadvantage.
Kaden has accidentally grabbed a couple of grenades that have paused the advantage train, where we've had a good position to toss down an aerial to catch MVD, but didn't realize a grenade was in hand, and that stopped everything.
Saul took some extra damage right there too, trying to charge up that Plasma Breath, but then got blown up. So there's that 90% already built up on Kaden, and MVD is starting to get this Ridley very close to kill percentages, but he is not too far himself. Kaden putting on some pressure on this juggle.
Oh, the up smash does proc the grenade that MVD pulled on landing. Back air putting in the corner. How does Kaden land?
Oh, beautifully is how maneuvering around everything right there. Barely able to save the DI that saved him in time. That won't get through Nikita, and the second one won't either, so MVD just has to lather, rinse, repeat right now until that Ridley is gone. Excellent comeback there by the veterans.
And I don't think a single normal move was used on that last stock, at least the connected on Kaden. I think that was 0 to 90 off of grenades and C4 catching Kaden, trying to catch the landings of MVD where he was mixing and moving. And sometimes it was grenades that were in Kaden's hand unknowingly, right? Until at the end of the day, one of those knocked Kaden off stage, and then it was Nikita for the rest of it. Sometimes that's how it is. Chasing Snake down is a very difficult task if you don't have very precise hitboxes that you're able to place.
That precision is so important, though, and especially when you're going up against a difficult matchup, right? I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter who you're playing against. You do have to be able to overcome a bad matchup. You're going to fight against a few of them, especially when you pick a mid-tier character like Ridley. But Kaden not making Ridley look too much like a mid-tier, because 3 forward airs makes a 0 to death in just 10 seconds!
And that is all you need. Kaden showed it off at the start of that second game as well. The advantage state is incredible. It's just when you are stuck between all of the grenades and all of the mess that it can be a little bit difficult to get things going. But already up to 76 on the second stock of MVD. Kaden is playing hot.
I dare say things are going right now.
They're going.
Things are very much going, and going well for Kaden. Already built up 76% on MVD's second stock. And also we have to mention, Smashville compared to Small Battlefield, we just shrunk things even more.
Even more, yeah. And I like the idea. Space Pirate Rush is a big catch. Not quite enough to get there, and that forward air, even if we got the connection, wow at that.
That was such a great catch there by MVD, dropping that C4 before he was way too far past the ledge, right, and caught that air dodge on by Kaden, knowing that Kaden didn't want to just go to the ledge and give up all that time, but off stage, once again, Ridley's such a menace.
Clean stock lead for Kaden. We did see this in the second game as well, if I'm not mistaken. We've just got to be able to slow it down a little bit not relinquish the pressure, but slow it down so that you're not running into these grenades. And I think that's really what made the last game go kind of haywire, right? Is you could kind of taste the victory there, and then chomped a little bit too hard at it.
Kaden definitely looking so much more measured in this game number 3. Got to see if he can at least push it to the game 4, though, right now. Again, you were talking about that precision, placing that up tilt right where it would not hit that grenade. Right out to the ledge does work out. Nice. I love mashing that down tilt out of the corner, too, because MVD has been quite patient, so punish him for waiting on that.
One of the biggest things as well, you can just wait for MVD to pull 2 grenades, and you can't pull more than 2 at a time. That was a large back hit of the boot.
You know, sometimes I say, yeah, that's a Smash Brothers hitbox right there, but really so big, I don't think it mattered what game
you
we're
know,
playing.
true.
Oh my God, he's chasing the Nikita. He says, I can go just as fast right now. Here comes MVD, though. Once he hits those nairs, I start to get scared because I've seen too many crazy comebacks start off of that move alone.
Absolutely, especially if we're able to connect into that forward air off the side. I believe it.
I think we both have the same trauma from Super Pit Wars a few years ago, but Kaden has a short-term memory, at least for that kind of thing. Like you said, staying composed in that one was the key on the last stock, and did so taking that first game from MVD, but still has a road to go if he wants to take this set.
Yeah, did a phenomenal job of calling out MVD's movement on the single platform because there wasn't a lot of places to go, right? Once you're on the edge of it, you have to get off somehow, and a lot of that is either jumping or maneuvering in such a way, right? Most of it was jumping, but sometimes you drop the shield before you try to just move out of the way, and either way that back air is covering what you need, especially with the grenade in MVD's hand. Eventually it'll blow up on its own, so he gets put in a checkmate scenario there.
Strong and active. You get to see some of that. Kaden not afraid to take a couple of trades right here at the start of the game. Tons of damage on MVD. We're going back to small battlefield here on game 4, and that does interest me because it seemed like Kaden was actually pretty comfortable here last time.
Yeah, Kaden did look strong. It was just the very end of the game that kind of got away from him, and I think that's why Kaden decided, yes, I'm allowing you to go back. If I'm not mistaken, BSR is in effect. So that would be something that he has to sign off on. And again,
he did not sign off on these Nikitas. You are definitely going to continue to take these hits.
Yeah,
we're not making this back, unfortunately. But Kaden's going to keep trying in case MVD messes something up. But this is definitely way too far away now, yeah.
And at this point, you can let go of the controller, and Kaden is not recovering.
But you know what? Kaden just continuing to go out there, because you never know. What if MVD gets nervous, he tosses down a grenade, deals some damage to himself by accident? And Kaden right there getting nervous about that C4, put up that shield a little bit too early. One juggle situation right here could turn this game around, bring it back to even, but had a little impatient trying to preemptively cover that platform, and MVD pushing the Ridley all the way up to now 88%.
Didn't see that C4 and the dash attack from MVD pushing Kaden at the ledge. What can we do with it? Out of the range of the Space Pirate Rush, big up air to counter assault. Oh, and it's a struggle to land. Kaden with a gigantic mountain to climb now. MVD still on the first stock, high percent. We can chase off stage. Where do we go? Then there's absolutely going to do it.
Ooh, I think that grenade kind of helped Kaden get back to the stage, too, because that honestly could have gotten real dicey real quick.
Yeah, the angles that Ridley has access to, it's not omnidirectional. You just get 4 specific ones depending on where he's facing.
I think that he actually would have been able to make that back fine because the backwards one does actually go up, and he was facing away from the ledge. Would have had an extra doubles up to face that way anyways, but we might be facing a 7th place finish right now. MVD just needs one more solid confirm, and then he will take this set 3-1.
Honestly, with his Ridley's weight as it is, I feel like even just a raw up tilt catching a landing could be huge for MVD, among others. Dash attack going to set Kaden off stage. Grenades are barraging. Space Pirate Rush is big.
Like you said, just had to wait for both of those grenades to come out. And nice patience around that C4. Kaden knows that he has to play perfectly if he wants to get back into this one, not succumbing to the pressure where a lot of people would expect that up tilt. MVD wanted to end it immediately, but instead, no tech zone right here. This is last stock.
Kaden playing with a large amount of heart right now. A lot of slowdown where we're waiting for the grenades to be pulled and disadvantaged. Do not let those up airs trade. This one will. But for the damage at this percent, I think it's worth it. The back air, though, MVD calling out Kaden's movement and stifling all of that momentum that Kaden was rocking with.
Dude, heart of a lion for both of these players because every single one of those games came down to the very last moment. They both took it to tons of damage on the last stock, but just couldn't secure the comebacks. But, man, so impressive to watch both of those guys, current Oklahoma and former Oklahoma,
right,
duking it out against each other. I don't even know how much history they have against each other as players because I don't know if Kaden was in Oklahoma or playing around that time, but man, so much fun to watch that one happen.
Yeah, a lot has changed in the past 3 or so years that MVD was back in that area now, representing Vegas, of course, and doing very well. One of multiple reps in Vegas who are doing very well. Expect to see Dakpo moving forward in the winner's side as well after we do a little bit more of these losers matches. But yeah, really solid play from both MDD and Kaden. You could really see the gears starting to turn and Kaden starting to tighten it up towards the end of that, but it was a little bit too late. MDD made those adjustments a little bit quicker starting in that second game at the very end where it mattered the most. And as a result, MDD going to be moving on. And on the other side, we are going to be waiting for some players to show up, but I believe it'll be Lima and DJDON. Well, more of a Texas-centric battle.
Yeah, that last one was two people who are not from this region. Now we're going to get two people who are from this very DFW Metroplex. We call it a Metroplex because it's so freaking big.
It is
that
large.
We can't just call it a city. Dallas and Fort Worth, if you ever wondered what DFW stands for. And yeah, I do believe they're both in the Dallas area themselves as well, but two very, very strong players there between Lima and DJDON.
Absolutely. We got to see both of them playing yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, on their runs to get here. DJDON performing very well, showing off the Steve action, what this character could do for you. And Lima, you know, he showed his potential at points and managed to make it all the way up here into this top 8. We're going to see what he's able to do. Typically at the same locals that they go to every Wednesday, Ultimate Shockwave. Check out on Tourney Locator.
Those are our boys, by the way.
Twitch.tv or youtube.com/ however you wish to. You could always check them out and see these two players duking it out probably on the regular. I don't know their exact set count. Usually it would be Lima who ends up coming out on top, ending first at those locals. But sometimes when you're playing at a big event, you've just got that energy behind you. These are the times where players like DJDON can ascend. He did very well at MomoCon just recently and maybe looking to kind of repeat or even do a little bit better because I believe it was 9th at MomoCon that DJDON ended last week. Was still second in dubs, very strong. But over here, DreamHack Dallas, qualified guaranteed 7th. That's not bad.
Yeah, guaranteed 7th, and I mean, could go a little bit farther because we know that DJDON is, I mean, at this point, I think that we can say pretty safely the best Steve in DFW. I mean, that was very solidly Johny with Trade 5 kind of bringing up that number 2 slot. But at this point, I think DJDON's kind of leapfrogged both of them. And, you know, I think that there was a time where we saw the potential for that to happen. I think that a lot of us believed in DJDON because when you're so good at such a young age, like DJDON is, you actually kind of get flashes of what we saw from Lima back in the day in Smash 4, where we saw he's so good at such a young age. The sky is the limit for this kid. And, I mean, for both of them, that's proven true so far.
Yeah, it's only up from here, and he has definitely been showing it off. Like you mentioned, very early on, we knew this kid had something to say. And we're going to see what he's able to bring to the table there. Lima, definitely going to be the expected, you know, victor of this bout.
He is the number 1 in the region.
DJDON looking to be the underdog who makes it all happen. Starting off with a little bit of a hand warmer. Both of these characters are very technical in what they're able to pull off. There's a skill floor for sure with a lot of what you can do, but the ceiling is so high when you're able to manage the no impact lands, and as well as like the Witch Twist 1 combos. Very specific how you're following up with Bayonetta to get some of that stuff.
Well, it's not just Witch Twist 1 either. Lima was telling me yesterday while we were going to get food that there is a specific 4th hitbox on Afterburner Kick, the grounded one, that he did not even know about.
Oh my god.
Because he was watching Bloom play, and he was like, I don't know how he constantly gets these ABKs into jump back airs. Turns out that there's a hitbox that's active for 2 frames, kind of like a third of the way into that ABK off the ground. And he was like, it turns out that if you hit that, it actually knocks your opponent up and away from you where it sets up perfectly for the back air, and I just have not been doing that.
That's insane. Somebody programmed this character.
Somebody did program, well, we can say the same about Steve.
You can say that about a lot of the characters in this game.
Arguably all of them. It did have to happen. So, anyways, we will get into game 1 right here. I know that Lima is not super warmed up. I know that he only barely just knocked out into the venue, but I do expect him to still be looking solid. I mean, he could have been playing at home too to warm up.
Yeah. Personally, I would call that a skill issue. I've been there.
That's part of the job.
Yep. Sometimes you got to show up.
Preparation is key. Right now, we'll see who's prepared to take this game 1. Right now, DJDON getting off to the hot start. Got tons of resources right off the bat. Lima has not put on pressure to stop that from happening. But, you know, honestly, I feel like when he plays against Steve, he doesn't normally even make that sort of his big draw in the matchup.
And already, only 12% before DJDON found Diamond. Did a great job of baiting out Lima, trying to stop the Diamond from happening. And then interrupting, pushing him off stage. This is Lima's turn to maybe return some of that damage. Very close to even at this point. fighting through that minecart on his way back down.
And Lima would love to take this stock without DJDON mining a second diamond, right? Not giving him the chance to have that. Hold on, we are inside the building.
Yeah,
he has constructed the K. Bailey Convention Center.
But he immediately refreshed that diamond pickaxe, so we still have an opportunity for Lima to kind of take that off the table in the second stock. But it is going to be extraordinarily unsafe for Lima to make any approaches to do so, because again, as you mentioned, we are in the K. Bailey Hutchinson Convention Center, and DJDON is constructing it in game.
He's got his Minecraft replica going. Third diamond on one stock, and then just immediately says, Lima, get out of here. And you see a lot of these times, DJDON will put up the blocks behind him so that Lima can't just immediately slide in, get a combo starter, and knock DJDON out into the corner, or just hit him with a big move, because DJDON can always tech on those blocks.
Absolutely, and doing a good job of really DIing well to stay out of Lima's combos that normally do so much. Even at a high percent, we'd expect a follow-up from Lima, maybe even getting these KOs. The back air finally does it. But look at the amount of resource that DJDON has. Worst case, we've got some gold tools, and those are pretty solid.
And DJDON takes advantage of those pretty often as well. No way Lima tried to take him off the top, but still 67 to start off. And that's the kind of damage that we say, that's crazy, Steve can do that. Well, Bayonetta can match him toe for toe and heel for heel right now, because he is continuing to kick the crap out of that Bloxy face.
Yeah, hasn't had a chance to even build some new tools. Might be coming up soon, but no, wanted to wait. Here we go. We have the gold access. We've got pretty much nothing but iron at this point.
And you know what? DJDON's going to be happy to keep mining, because he knows that with those gold tools, you're mining exceptionally faster than all of the other tools will allow you to, getting tons of resources. But Lima does take him out. Again, tons of gold, tons of iron. Lima, I love that bait right there with the Witch Time, because so many people just push Steve off of the crafting table to stop him from getting the tools up. Lima said, I will do it just enough so that you can get those tools, and then I'm going to have that Witch Time ready for you. Very smart.
Absolutely. And we've seen multiple times DJDON, when pushed, will pull out the A moves and try to catch you slipping. And Lima caught him on the third level of healing.
But the nose got singed by the magma. DJDON going to try to get things started here on the final stock, and again with gold tools, and now does dig up a diamond, just needs to craft those tools and does get them. So this is a very, very scary situation for Lima right now. Does scoop him up past that wall, but not enough to get the stock taken just yet, until that Witch Time comes through at another key moment in that game to give him that game one.
Caught DJDON doing the classic Steve thing of thinking they're safe in their minecart. A lot of the times they are, but when your opponent has the ability to literally slow down time and freeze you in it, sometimes that minecart is not a place you want to call home.
And plenty of time to think. Especially for Lima right there. And you know, I think that the big thing about fighting DJDON is that he knows pretty much every single like weird interaction with Steve that can happen, and he will use pretty much all of them over the course of his set. And he basically asks you, do you know how to react to what I'm doing, and do you know how to deal with them? I don't even know what happened right there, so DJDON just skill checked the crap out of me.
Lima got hit by the anvil somehow in such a way that he bounced back up to the anvil.
Off of that on the anvil and then got dragged down, right?
Well, he missed a wall tech on it, and then
yeah, missed the wall tech on the block, and then missed the tech on the anvil. That's crazy. That is actually a first for me to see that. Something new always with Steve.
Steve really just continues to bring creative mode to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
He's a clip machine. I can never get enough of this guy. And neither can DJDON, evidently. Nearly got reversaled right there in mid-air by Lima. Again, shows you the power that Bayonetta has. Not able to combo off of that up air. Didn't get the optimal hit to link into that back air, but nice empty land delaying that right there and into the forward airs. See if Lima can close out the stock.
Not getting that hitbox of that grounded heel slide that you want.
Tried to shoot the TNT out. Unfortunately, this is not Uncharted. Do not just shoot the red barrels and they explode.
That is tragic for Lima. You would love to see that.
Oh my goodness. So much use of that Witch Time, and that's definitely showing us, right, that DJDON, again, so focused on making sure that he is using all the tricks in the book that he's not really focused on mixing up the timing, right? Applying them in places where people aren't expecting them, because Lima has been ready for him pretty much every time.
And sometimes when you're committed to the minecart, there's nothing you can do but continue to fly at the opponent with a hitbox, because you can only jump out after a certain amount of time. If Lima's able to react to that, that is a guaranteed Witch Time.
The thing is, he's not even reacting to it. He's reading it, right? That he is jumping up there and getting ready to toss out that Witch Time the moment that he knows that DJDON is in a position where he wants to throw out that minecart. And it has been just an exceptional tool for him, right, to get those reads. He just witch twists before the back end of that down smash even came out.
Absolutely, but ended up getting caught with a lot of extra landing lag because of it. DJDON with feet on the ground was able to up smash, take Lima to last stock here, but not a healthy lead from DJDON. Great DI up to avoid the fair.
I mean, honestly, DJDON's defense has been pretty darn good so far, but Lima does get his up tilt in the back air. We'll go to last stock, but DJDON, tons of iron, got some gold and diamond tools to boot. We'll see if DJDON will be able to give Lima the boot here in this game, too.
Up to 80%, you know that diamond is terrifying to face down. If Lima's going to be able to get through this wall, DJDON putting up the towers.
The problem is that when you're in the middle of two towers that are so close like that, you're going to mine away the towers because you're not going to have a place where the game's going to detect you as mining the ground. It's like, oh, you want to take away the blocks. I see.
I see. Oh, not going to get anything off that ABK, and the extra landing lag was enough for DJDON to swing that forward smash. Even if he can block that, it's not exceptionally punishable.
No, I mean, at best you're going back to neutral, right? Or even a little bit of disadvantage because you're probably not going to stick around right next to a Steve when half your shield gets taken away by a diamond F smash.
And that up tilt is just terrifying to face afterwards, or even the jab as well. But it was enough for DJDON in that position to take the second game. 1-1 between these two players. So who's going to be able to take the edge in this third game?
Yeah, again, I mean, normally we like to say, oh, counter pick advantage is so important when you go into that game 3, right? But honestly, I don't think it matters. They look comfortable to play on PS2 the entire time. Lima said run it back, DJDON said run it back, so I mean, I would expect we'd be here the whole time, but you do want that momentum. You want a little bit more time to be able to play with some extra time to adapt in that game 4. I don't know why I said it like adapt.
Yeah, I think because you were so shocked at what Lima was doing.
Yeah, it made me go, ah.
Ah. Agreed. Somehow Lima making it back through the fire and flames. No Dragon Force here, just a witch.
No Guitar Heroes to be seen in sight, except for the concert last night, by the way. Wage War was incredible.
Lima looking to wage war on this Enderman off the top. Absolutely.
War has been waged indeed. You are going to that blast zone, and Lima getting his tactical advantage in the war right now. Up 1 stock, not taking too much percent for his troubles either, and I do believe that DJDON is only on stone tools right now. So you do get a little bit of bonus to your damage, but nothing too silly.
Great air dodge through in the witch time by DJDON. Get away from that ABK. Up smash not going to do it just yet, but it will keep Lima off of you for a moment. I like the idea of that down smash, but Lima waiting just a little bit.
Ooh, the Witch Twist 1 set up for another KO off the top. And again, if that looks easy, I will remind you that Lima is aiming to hit just a single hit of that like 5-6 hit up B. That Witch Twist, you have to only hit that one. You have to have very precise spacing to do it. And Lima has hit it so many times, and he's about to take DJDON at the top again!
Not quite high enough. Blessed be DJDON, surviving the scenario, and this time able to DI cross up through Lima so that Witch Twist does not connect. Catching the landing, but on his last breath, DJDON.
Crazy STI right there by Lima just to make sure that DJDON didn't have any more follow-ups. But at this point, it just seems inevitable that Lima is going to just rocket into a lead in this game. He took that second game personally.
Yeah. Lima had... He caught on to this a little bit in the last game, but didn't really extremely capitalize on it. Only a little bit. He, in this game, multiple times caught DJDON mining and realized that DJDON first option is to jump away after the mining. Got so many perfectly placed ABKs after that. Would walk up to kind of threaten that space, catch DJDON jumping, and then meet him halfway with that ABK and start off these combos so high off the ground.
And again, I mean, you know, when you're in the air against Bayonetta, that's, you know, always a scary place to be because he's one of the hardest characters to challenge. Air to air or even anti-airing sometimes. Good DI, again, seeing that great defense by DJDON. If he had held out towards that side blast zone, definitely would have been taking a trip out there, but realized what combo Lima was fishing for. But Lima's looking for another big one.
Yeah.
Witch Twist 1, but that time did not launch DJDON high enough to send him into the top blast zone after that combo ended.
Still at a very high percent where if DJDON is not careful behind these walls, the forward smash could come through. Lima also has just that traditional ledge trap potential. Here comes the Witch time, and that's a big forward smash to send DJDON onto the second stock.
That was so crazy. It looked like he bats within and then also Witch timed at the same time. Like there was just a perfect frame in there. Nice, staying off stage so that DJDON can't land that TNT, but DJDON is keeping the pressure on right now. And I think big difference right now is he needs this kind of time right here. Toss out that anvil, get that star KO, and start mining for those resources because he has not been playing with a ton of them like he was in that game 1 where he looked so crazy dominant.
Absolutely. Now we've got that gold tool at least, which should help you mine a little bit more, but Lima not giving you a chance. Look at the reset.
Unbelievable combo there by Lima. It didn't even get the KO on DJDON, but the fact that he was able to take it that far is just ridiculous.
Anvil's going to get you out of that jump read. And the up smash on both sides. That'll scoop up this heel slam.
Here we got a diamond in DJDON's inventory as well. If I know DJDON, he might not even save that for the next stock, but looks like it might be the thing to do because Lima has put so much damage on him already that this is just one up tilt away from leading into that stock ending back here.
Looks like he might actually be saving it, which, like you mentioned, a little uncharacteristic. Somehow dodging the fist just a little bit out of the range.
The DJDON will also often make use of the gold tools, and there you see the advantage, right, of being able to just construct those blocks behind you. When you know they're fishing for that back air, you can just continue to live. DJDON taking another bank shot to the face, but it's enough to stay alive, and he continues to tech everything until Lima finally does not finish the stock, because that will not, oh, never mind. Down throw killed off the top. I learned something today.
Lima is a master of playing with his food, but only a little bit.
Oh my goodness, he traded with that Magma Block too. Yeah, Lima loves to mess around in a way that is not, I wonder what's going to happen, but I wonder how I can show you that I'm better than you.
Yeah.
What is the best way for me to demonstrate that? Right now, it should be focused on winning because DJDON is making this a very close game 4.
He's got the house built.
Get out!
He has the diamond tools. Lima in danger. Looking like he was about to get put in the mob farm.
Yeah, do not enter the fighting ring. Do not enter the boxing ring.
Up tilt out of the Lima combo. He was waiting to try to reset DJDON. Now in the corner against Diamond is a terrifying place to be.
Nice, though, using that dash attack as a burst option twice now to punish Lima for just trying to hover around in that mid-range where Bayonetta can be so threatening. But Steve has that one tool. DJDON making use of it twice. Nice little forward smash right there to put the Bayo off stage again. And Lima did have to mine that pressure plate at 95%. Gets the switch time. This could be his chance to clutch up, but I think that he needed the up tilt after that first hit, not the second hit in the fair.
Oh!
And DJDON turning the tables on Lima with that forward air. Again, so good out of disadvantage, and it sends us to a game 5.
I have seen DJDON reversal so many people with that same exact spike. Consistently, they're swinging for the fences just out of reach because, again, his DI defensively has been so solid. You think you can reach him, but you just can't. And the price that you are paying for missing there is massive. Now on to a 5th game, a chance for DJDON to put Lima in his place. He took that little taunt personally.
Yeah, he said, oh, you want to go for this stupid stuff? I think you can go for a game 5 now. Thank you for messing around with me. So we do go to a game 5. And again, I think the defining thing has been in that game 1 and that game 4, the 2 games that DJDON did take, the key was that he was getting tons of resources all the time. And I think that was, I think like you were mentioning, a product of Lima messing around a little bit too much in that game 4.
We'll see if he's able to tighten up the screws or if maybe DJDON's not going to even give him the chance. Right now, he is mining a little bit, not a lot of resource to be had. Lima getting a solid connection on the Witch Twist. Not the damage we expect to see, though.
No, normally we see a whole lot more than that if those over percents, but Lima will have another chance to put on some extra damage. Oh my goodness, DJDON went for it again. Lima barely able to hang on. Almost took that stock right there as well, and we will get a little bit of a labyrinth repeat. He has to start minding that forward air as well, because that time you saw he bailed out early because he knew it was coming again.
Absolutely. Even though Lima was in control of that situation for so long, he did take a lot of collateral damage out there, up to 77. And taking the first stock is phenomenal, but we have gold tools on DJDON. He can definitely answer Lima jumping in on it.
The important thing is it's not Diamond.
Yeah.
And I think that if anything, Lima just wants to make sure that there is as little possible mining for DJDON between if DJDON takes this next stock on his own, because you don't want to let him start getting those resources crazy built up. But nice patience there by Lima, just making sure that he can cash out for good damage.
Out of range of the guns, getting a little bit extra mining going, and he's fishing under that block.
Quite literally, he is fishing for that back throw into that checkmate scenario. We saw plenty of times yesterday, but not so far today. Lima getting taken off the top. Lucky for him that wasn't a star KO, because that means that DJDON, I don't believe, got his diamonds.
No diamonds yet. We have a little bit more gold. We refreshed the tools because it is so soft. Now here we go. Gold is gone. It's just that Iron we have to deal with now.
Now, Iron is a very good set of tools to have, right? Pretty durable, tons of extra damage as well, but the one main drawback to using Iron tools is that you're seeing it right there. You don't actually get a whole lot of crazy combos. Wood is actually really, really good for that.
Absolutely, yeah. You get that little extra damage and knockback, but it actually takes your opponents far enough away that they can't follow up very well.
That's the weird part about Smash, is that things just vary based on the knockback and the percentages and how much damage you're doing. Things are not guaranteed unless you're Lima. And he went for that second Witch Twist 1, which would have sent DJDON high enough to confirm the ending of that game.
Absolutely would have been game over if we were able to connect the right hitbox on the first Witch Twist and carry into the second. But again, DJDON solid on the defense.
That was Lima taking that anvil on purpose too, because he didn't want to mess around out there, potentially catch a forward air for trying to wait too long to get back. That anvil dropping, saving DJDON right there though. And forward smash with his Iron Tool's not enough, but we have a heck of a game brewing right now because he now has the ultimate set of tools in the diamonds.
Diamond ready. Oh, but this could be big for Lima, pushing DJDON off stage. If we can catch the landing, we can't. He's got his feet back on the ground.
And Lima can't just fish for back air right now because you've got that wall in the way. DJDON saving himself a lot of trouble, refreshing the durability on those diamond tools as well, building up another wall to make sure that he can continue to play that same game plan and not close enough to get punished for that minecart getting witch time.
And the witch time's so incredibly stale as well. It ended expeditiously. Hold on.
But Lima, I guess he was looking for a back air, maybe just a misinput right there though. You heard the crowd ooh and ah because DJDON gets to stay alive, and again, this comeback potential is so real.
Surviving Matrix-like the way that he's dodged through. Oh, still teching on the plat. Command grab, taking Lima off stage.
And Bayonetta's just standing there in the minecart too. Oh, you're in the house! You're inside the fun house! Get out!
It's not a fun house to be in. It's not. That's not what we want to call it. It's the unfun house. It's a maze.
Oh
but
my
the back air
goodness.
does come through. Lima finally through the torture zone does manage to get the clean confirmed. Up tilt the back air, and that's Lima moving on despite the entire crazy wacky ride we ran.
First of all, great alliteration. I would not have been able to get that sentence out of my mouth.
There was a lot going on.
I still cannot get over the last 25 seconds of that game because DJDON just said, okay, you know what? You're not going to be able to tech. You're at such a high percent. I'm just going to toss you every single which way like a pinball.
It was certainly pinball. It was one of those sad moments where the ball never gets back to your flippers. You have zero control of the scenario, and it's
You just have to watch it fly. Yeah, you
I
just
can't
send
wait
it
for
and
it
go.
to fly right between the two. I'm never going to have a chance.
It's so crazy what Steve can do, but unfortunately the Steve ride will end here. DJDON was the last one remaining in the bracket and will go out at 7th. Still, such a phenomenal performance for him because, again, we can't stress enough that kid's like, what, 15 years old?
Very young.
And he is already beating people who have been playing this game for over a decade, people who are at the top of the game, and that's something that you just don't get in places, you know, other than Smash as often. You really can only get that here.
It is crazy that some players have been playing for longer than he has been alive.
Longer than he has been alive.
Genuinely.
And, like, with a bullet, too. Because he came out when Brawl was released. He was born when Brawl was released.
I like how you say he came out when Brawl was released,
Yeah,
like
well,
he's also a video game.
like he's gay like me.
Yeah, but it's not.
I came out after Brawl was released, to be fair. It took me a little while.
Yeah, but man, DJDON, beautiful performance. Lima, we're expecting to see more. Now on to the winner's side of the bracket, though. We've got Beastly, who's had a phenomenal performance to get here, representing the Diddy Kong, and MuteAce, if I'm not mistaken, seed number 1 going into this, looking for the three-peat at DreamHack, being the person who managed to take first place in the previous 2 events.
The three-peat tells you exactly why he is and should be the first seed. I mean, he is the #1 player in Texas, and he has been playing like it this weekend. Has had a little bit of a rough patch on the C's these last couple of months, but has been in top form this tournament.
Absolutely, and it's been showing. But it is going to be a difficult matchup to go up against. I'm not entirely sure the set count between these two, but I would wager that it's MuteAce's favor pretty heavy.
That's usually the case. You can say that sentence, and it's probably true.
But I will say that Diddy Kong is one of the characters to do it against Peach. I'll say there's quite a few that you could say have a pretty solid matchup going into it. And MuteAce has consistently been one who's able to maneuver around that, but being able to air so incredibly well with Diddy Kong, as well as being able to control grounded space with Banana very well, it is a lot of tools in your favor against the floating princess.
I mean, yeah, being able to contest her in those places where she's normally so uncontestable, because Peach loves to play at a range where she's floating, she's just outside of that effective range of yours, but Diddy can burst into that range, both with the banana and with the monkey flip, which are the two moves that Beastly immediately selects to use to show MuteAce, you better start respecting this right off the bat.
Back to back, and again, Beastly a player hallmark for his movement, MuteAce as well, so we should be seeing a lot of tangos back and forth between these two. Fancy feet.
Twist and tango, turning the angles. Beastly will have to, I mean, again, his movement will need to be on point. It can't just be flashy. His spacing needs to be really good as well, because look at this. I mean, it doesn't feel like he has taken that many crazy hits, but he's already at 94%, and that means that MuteAce, out of a down tilt, out of a turnip, can definitely set up to take this first stock already.
Absolutely. That fair is terrifying to deal with. When she takes off the crown, you know she means business. Back air even at the ledge might be something that does it at this point. You're just looking for it. It's so safe to land. Even the weak hit puts you in a good position, but Beastly fighting out of the corner pretty solidly. Nair off of the banana.
Trying to put that pressure safely on MuteAce's shield, somehow barely hanging on with that stock. And that turnip was actually just misplaced by Mute. Beastly stalling at the ledge right there. Tough for most characters to contest that, but Mute, the patience does come through. Beastly does crack first. And Mute now gets to play with the lead where he's so dangerous.
And crossing over MuteAce there, pretty ill-advised against a lot of characters. Normally when you cross over behind them, their out-of-shield options get weaker. But against against Peach specifically, that Nair hits so well from above as well as the back air. You really don't want to do that. You want to face in front of her if you can.
And she is definitely great at just, I mean, attacking you on either side, but definitely behind her. Surprisingly great coverage where most characters do struggle with that. But kind of say the same thing for Diddy, too. So Mute needs to be really careful with this coverage. I love the attempt to try to combo out of the early banana toss, right? But again, MuteAce, I mean, those situations he's so prepared for them.
Back air coming just above the peanut pop gun, taking Beastly out of the ledge trap position. MuteAce holding this Pokeball. Catching Beastly, moving in a little too aggressively, not quite connecting the forward air.
Oh my goodness, and that forward air of MuteAce's own right there, drifting in, being so effective, catching above him too. It's a huge hitbox, but Beastly able to cover above him right there, finally taking that first stock from MuteAce, but it's been a grind for Beastly to get that first one off the board.
Absolutely, all the way up to 92% in order to do it. Not quite connecting after the first Nair. Could have been a big setup, at least for a reset, but whiffing put you in a bad spot. Now banana in MuteAce's hand and off the table.
And Mute, of course, gets to get those turnips in hand, too. And let me tell you, there is nothing more scary in this game than a character that can pull out something edible to throw at you, because they are crazy combo tools. It's very obvious with Diddy because he can set you into a trip scenario, but it might as well be a trip when you get hit by that turnip because the hit stun is crazy, and Mute has gotten the crazy combos off of it too.
Ooh, barrel straight to the banana. MuteAce ends up picking it up. A lot of pressure with that fair. This character is one of the scariest with the banana, not just because of what you can do off of it, but more so because it is so easy to access your aerials and just regular gameplay while keeping the banana away from Diddy Kong.
And that's one of the reasons why the turnips are so good, is that you can do that too, but
oh no,
doesn't even need it right now, and he's got a stitch face, so if that connects, Beastly's taking 35 for just getting hit by one veggie.
We do not want to see that happen if Beastly wants to make a comeback. 33% off of one hit and put into a really rough spot and disadvantage. Trying to land against MuteAce is a tall order, all the way up to almost 90%. Yet again off of one interaction.
Yeah, tall indeed. I mean, that was, surprisingly close to putting Beastly in that magnifying glass very, very quickly. And Peach isn't always a vertical combo character, but Diddy Kong can say the same too, right? That he has a couple of those where he can stack up that damage and literally stack you up as well, but it's not about that damage right now. Beastly has got to find a way to take that stock and quick.
Ooh, stuck on the flat.
Yo!
What a big conversion. We saw Beastly going for a lot of those yesterday. It is a very fun way to get off the ledge with that banana if your opponent is just sitting a little bit too close.
This is why when Beastly got top 8 at Low Tide City, nobody who lives in this region was surprised because the kid is dirt nasty.
Absolutely. That banana, it may look a little bit fresh, but I guarantee you it's been ready to make banana bread. It's out for a while.
I love me some banana bread too, bro. But we'll see if Beastly loves that W. We'll see if he loves that comeback. Right now, Looks like he does have his shot. MuteAce is stuck in the corner, but he's so good at getting out of there and calling out Beastly for trying to maintain control of that banana peel. Will take that game one, but kind of like we saw from the MVD Cadence set earlier, right? Getting very close at the end of that game one where it really could have gone either way if Beastly had just found one more opening.
Down to 60%, and with Diddy Kong, you do have to work a little bit harder to get that final KO, usually up to about 100 to 120 range to get some really good confirms depending on stage position. But there's also a lot of vortexes that he can put you in once he gets that hit around 60.
Well, and Diddy does have one way to take a stock early, which is something nair into down air off stage, right?
Yeah.
But Mute has not been hanging out in a place where he's able to be hit by that. He does float out there, but not in a way that Beastly can actually combo into that down air. And again, it just goes to show that MuteAce is one of those people who knows more about this game than anybody else on the planet.
Absolutely. And that is a classic, you know, you want to stay away. It's a catch-22 against Banana, because if you don't want to get hit by the Nair Dare, you stay closer to center stage, but that gives Beastly access to stuff like this, where you are going to take that early damage instead.
Well, and especially being on Battlefield, too, we talked about it earlier. Peach is not really a vertical combo character, and Diddy actually has a few of those. And I think a key part of that is that he only gets access to some of those crazy combos on a stage like Battlefield when you have all these platforms. Whereas for Mute, I mean, sometimes the landing, normally this gives you a mix-up for your landing. But Peach thrives because she doesn't even need those platforms, and this can actually get in her way.
The high percents, you do sometimes want to hug that ledge, because at that point, Nair Dare doesn't really matter too much, and connecting a banana towards the ledge won't actually give you access to the up smash or the forward smash that you want if they fall off and have to grab the ledge.
Few big overcommits with these down airs, though, for MuteAce. The thing is, they're very safe when you hit your opponent's shield or when you hit them at all, right? You get plenty of opportunity to make your next move, but when you whiff, it's a very long move. Tons of active frames where your opponent can react and follow up by the end of it. And Beastly has done a very good job of watching out for those down airs, and Mute's probably going to have to be a lot more careful with using that move in particular to pressure the monkey.
He's done a great job as well of delaying these forward airs off the down throw. Because of where Mute is placed on the platform, it covers any air dodge or assault, really, because there's too much ground below.
Beastly is just playing this neutral so well. Having access to these platforms is making it so hard for you to accurately predict where Beastly is going to be at any next given moment, because, like we discussed, all that burst movement and those barrels are another piece of that. Beastly will take another trip off stage, though, and will get bonked by that turnip. And when you get knocked out of those barrels, you got no hope.
Absolutely. It is lights out for Diddy Kong in that position. Beastly trying to connect the Nair setup off of the banana there, but at this high percent, like we were saying, it's not really huge to connect Nair Dare. This is a down tilt away?
Did you see that turnaround slide back down tilt? I didn't even know that kind of movement was possible, but and Beastly's blowing my mind every single time I watch him play the game.
He certainly, if there is a way to move fancily, he has figured it out. High Battlefield blast zones, though, bailing out MuteAce from that position. Oh, and this could be a huge setup off the drag down up air. Stealing the banana up at 67. With this rage, Diddy is not safe with the back of the up smash, stifling that rage, giving Beastly a lot more of a lead.
And again, getting to play with the lead is so big for him, because when he does not have to commit, when Mute's the one that has to try to chase him down, Beastly just gets to control all those situations where he can make safe options his hallmark, and Mute actually has to be the one that's overcommitting, which is not the way that he is comfortable playing. We talk about Mute with the lead kind of being invincible, but playing from behind can be a bit vulnerable at times, and Beastly trying to show that off. Does have the monkey flip, does have the early barrels as well. Somehow he's back.
Yeah, he's going to take a hit to make it all the way there, but I'll take the hit if I can keep the stock. Gonna go to the ledge? No!
I think that he meant to as well, but he actually activated those barrels way too high to go down to the ledge. Realizing that, did try to option select, no, not option select, but try to go higher, right? He's trying to change his mind midway through, but Mute did capitalize, so we're down to last stock. But this feels like it might be a different story than that last game where Beastly came close but no cigar to clawing this one back. Mute has got a lot of momentum right now.
Mute has a ton. Evening up the percent and catching the high monkey flip that Beastly was going for again, because MuteAce conditioned it after bonking him on the barrels previously. That turnip is a terrifying thing to face down, so you want to waste no time out there to give him one. Instead, quick monkey flip. You can't cover both at the same time, but if you force it out of Beastly, you can absolutely get one of them.
Well, it's not even just the barrels of the monkey flip either, too, that MuteAce is forcing out of Beastly, too. You talk about conditioning as something that you do purposefully do as a player, but there's also that stuff that you pick up on that says, oh, I didn't do this, but they did this to themselves, and I can use that to my advantage. That kind of conditioning that you can use, that is a stitch indeed. But before Mute tries to take too much of advantage of it, I want to talk about the fact that I'm not going to get the chance. Beastly just gets a 0 to death and shuts me up real good.
I think Mute held on to the Stitch too much preciously, and because of that kind of tunneled, ended up getting hit by that down air, and this is a huge lead for Beastly to potentially take this third game.
And
where are you going?
It's unusual because Mute doesn't normally do that either. He's normally like, okay, no matter the turn-up, I'm just going to try to toss it out, but he felt like after all that damage he'd taken, maybe needed that comeback back.
It was certainly accessible until it wasn't. That is a big connection with the Nair. Beastly going to have to recover from way too low.
And again, once you get knocked out of those barrels, when you pull them out the second time, it doesn't stall you in the air like it normally does. So Beastly going to get his recovery taken away. Battlefield's blast zone too high right there, so up throw to up air, not enough even at those high percents.
Yeah, that's crazy that the up air connected almost in the magnifying glass and still didn't get the KO at 100%.
Those drag down up airs from Mute, by the way. Some of the most frame-tight combos in the game. Tried to go for the crazy parasol hit off the top. That would have taken away Beastly's stock because it has quite a bit of base knockback.
Absolutely. Forward tilt going to steal the banana and push Mute back to the corner. Trying to connect with these down tilts. We think may connect into the stock here. Up smash not quite going to do it.
And Mute didn't want to overcommit after parrying one of the middle hits, right? Didn't know exactly where that last one was going to end up. Beastly, though, trying to bait out one of those rolls, but did not find the follow-up afterwards. Tried to mine that get-up attack. So once again, Mute going to try to fight his way back into this one. I mean, he might be arguably closer to taking the Diddy stock than the Diddy is to him.
Beastly going for a lot of these raw up smashes, and Mute is not falling victim to any of them. That barrel bonk is a bad place to be. MuteAce back air connects, and that just tossed the bomb out of you. You don't want your opponent to use it against you.
By the way, if you throw the bomb, it does not hit you. That has no hitbox for you, so Mute's able to just stand under there and say, haha, look at what I can do.
This is my safe haven. Under the flat. Now Beastly setting up banana off stage, forcing Mute to recover in an awkward position.
Ooh, tried to just toss out a smash attack. Don't know if it was the forward or the up smash. Either way, it would have taken the stock, but Mute's aggression right now really showing through. He is just throwing out a tornado of hitboxes that Beastly just does not have an answer for right now.
Down tilt's not finding. Needs to connect one of them here, but MuteAce has been doing such a good job of landing quickly, not committing.
Eating those monkey flips alive. And that's what I was going to talk about earlier. We'll get to that in a little bit. But right now, MuteAce is just trying to work on taking this game 3, securing his 3-0. But Beastly still alive right now at 109. It's just one confirm away from Mute, but he can really rack on this damage quick.
Absolutely, especially with banana in hand. Mute stuck on the platform, not able to refresh that banana, so it's going to be really hard to pull another one. There we go with the time spent off stage, but the neutral air to catch Beastly trying to toss that banana, and that was a crucially timed neutral air. If it had swung just a little bit too early, Beastly connects that banana, then we could see the same exact shenanigans where he grabs it again, Z drops, gets that nair, down air. That could have been a huge reversal off the ledge, but showing off once again, Mute's timing has been impeccable and taking that game because of it.
Again, he's just such a polished player where every single thing that he does has purpose. He's never just throwing something out to see what happens, you know, unless he's in enough of an advantage that he actually gets the opportunity to do that. But there's just a clear purpose to everything that he does, and that's kind of what I wanted to talk about too before Beastly rudely interrupted me with a crazy 0 to death right there. But I wanted to talk about taking advantage of conditioning just that kind of comes by happenstance, because I think that Mute had noticed in that game 2 and took advantage of it for some big damage at the end of that game 3 as well, that Beastly felt very safe escaping with those monkey flips, especially high, wasn't getting punished for them a lot. Mute didn't feel like he had an opportunity to punish them in those situations, but knew that later on, if he gets a read on a couple of those, takes advantage of that conditioning that Beastly is giving him, then he can say, your safe zone is now my opportunity to hit you back hard. And that's honestly one of the big reasons why he was very clutch at the end of those games, and Beastly was not able to clutch up.
Absolutely. Even with that huge 0 to death that Beastly got at the start of that game, that's a gigantic lead. Mute still was able to maintain that that composure and then take it all the way to the game. So that's going to be exciting to see Mute continue with that same level of mind going into it, that same level of composure going into this next set. he will be playing against the winner of Dakpo and Johny. They are going for a button check. I know that Dakpo's not going me gunner.
There's no way.
No, but
There's no way that he's going to play me gunner. Right?
No.
I say that.
Yeah, almost certainly Dakpo is going to be using the Diddy Kong, and he's been looking forward to playing against Johny for a really long time. One of his premier practice partners for a long time in this game was Cephalon, the Roy Extraordinaire.
The Roy Extraordinaire, yes.
I mean, dating back to, literally decades of Smash, right? That those two played together all the time. And another reason that he would want to play Johny too is alongside that, Dakpo moved out of the region before Johny really started going to tournaments and rising to prominence in the region. So, Dakpo will get to come back as an old generation of Dallas-Fort Worth Smash and get to take on the new generation. And doing it here at DreamHack Dallas on a big stage in the region, huge opportunity to make something crazy happen.
Absolutely. We're going to see what he's able to come up with, because Johny plays similar to what we saw out of Beastly, very fast and aggressive, but also with a little bit of a mutant flair where he will play fast and aggressive, but just outside of your ranges and force you to commit first.
He definitely wants you to succumb to the mental damage of playing against him, right? But Dakpo is one of the hardest people to break in that game. The only thing that I think Dakpo sometimes struggles with on the mental side is that he likes to play a little bit, I don't want to say passive, but definitely very slow and methodical. And Johny definitely loves to make people go, you don't have time for slow and methodical against me.
Absolutely. Get Up Attack is going to steal the ledge from Dakpo, but getting tripped gave Dakpo an opportunity to pull another banana. See what he can do with it here. Just set up another ledge trap, and that's beautiful to see.
I think that one of the things that is going to be beautiful to see, by the way, you mentioned that Johny has some of that beastly aggression, right? Dakpo is a very different Diddy Kong player compared to Beastly, right? It's going to be a lot of fun to see how they tackle different players and different challenges in their own right. We're literally just getting walked across the stage right now.
Yeah, I mentioned it yesterday with Ajax because he thought that was a heavy specific combo. As it turns out, that down tilt is a fastballer specific combo, and I brought up Roy as an example of a character that he can just walk across the stage with down tilts.
And as it turns out, that's true.
Yeah, you should expect to see more of that as the set goes on.
Good DI by Dakpo, though, not going to get caught by that back there. Don't even know if Johny was close enough to immediately get that sweet spot to take the stock, but surprisingly, neither of these players down the stock yet. Johny's getting right off the ledge with the Gobbly right there, immediately matching that double-edged dance and says, yep, you want to jump off the ledge, I got a forward air waiting for you, and the crowd getting loud for the local kid.
Dakpo going to answer back pretty quickly, though, sets up the back air from the ledge trap, catches Johny swinging down to 0% each. Banana now in Johnny's hand. The onus is on Dakpo.
We'll see, Johny does get things started. Love that frame trap right there with the neutral air, immediately knowing, okay, if this doesn't connect, I got my grab waiting for you right here. You got too much landing lag on that air dodge. And now Johny will try to get that juggle started up, but that banana was just set up for a perfect trap.
Yeah, but rolling to the ledge, actually, that Dakpo couldn't ledge cancel that, that kick. Therefore, Johny was able to get a clean punish.
Ooh, trying to look for the crazy setups to get Johny off stage. Love that F smash, because that can also call out the spot dodge, too.
Gonna get the sweet spot, the hilt of that blade. Double-edged dance putting Dakpo now on last stock in the first game.
Interesting to see Dakpo already kind of having to shake off a little bit of mental damage right there. You saw him just kind of shake his head to the side after getting hit by that double-edged dance, and I know he's thinking, oh, really, he's going to mash that right there? Like, did not expect that at all, but not able to get his banana either, because the moment he tried to pull that, Johny just got right up in his face and said, yeah, I dare you to go off stage and try to catch that.
He is in Beastly mode right now, where he's just forcing Dakpo to make so many decisions so quickly, and that one was the wrong one, sending Dakpo flying off the left side.
So many great reads. And again, it's all about, can you maintain your mental against Johny? Because sometimes you do have to play those 50-50s like you see in those tech chase scenarios, but sometimes you also get the fear put into you that you get put into that tech chase in the first place.
Oh yeah. And there's sometimes where Johnny's movement will just scare you into a shield. Next thing you know, you're blocking a falling up air or a down tilt, and then it's another mix-up where you are in disadvantage. You're blocking, but you are still waiting for Johny to pick the option next. And if you aren't quick to react to what he does afterwards, you can be lights out.
Because Johnny's not going to be inherently at frame advantage for mashing moves on your shield, but like you see, very difficult to punish him unless you call out what comes next. And most of the time, I mean, you also just want to kind of get away. You can keep holding that shield and jump away like you were talking about, but Dakpo not finding a whole lot of success with that so far, and Johny, man, spacing around those monkey flips really well also.
That forward tilt, though, is a sword of its own. Big charge. I don't know if that's what Dakpo wanted there.
No way. I would not think so. There's so little potential reward off of that. Dakpo's always looking for the maximum, but get him attacked right there, getting punished by Johny, and Dakpo, again, finding that he's not really catching Johny off guard with any of his veteran guile right now, and he is just going for those F smashes. Finally gets one. Third time's the charm, so this game does stay even.
Absolutely. Dakpo with banana in hand as well. Could turn things around quick, but it's Johny who finds the first hit. Gets to the nair with banana in hand, but sends it an awkward angle that he's not able to get that down air follow-up.
Ooh, Johny did not get that nair out in time to contest the monkey flip. It is a surprisingly difficult move to contest in that rate. And man, Dakpo does take that to a pretty big advantage. Johny's been stuck on these platforms a couple of times, and it looks like Dakpo is actively trying to set up for that too.
Absolutely. He loves sitting up on that platform. There's so many checkmate scenarios you can do with the banana access as well.
Speaking of checkmate,
Whoa!
holy cow, I thought that Johny had it all, but Dakpo right there, great reversal off stage. It's such a bad spot, but he made Johny pay for overcommitting.
Ooh, and he fell off stage. Tried to go all the way down where you could wall cling after that air dodge, but unfortunately didn't have the jump or position to get there.
And Dakpo just doesn't look like he's playing comfortable right now, right? We're seeing a couple of tech flubs that, again, are just so uncharacteristic of him, but that is the kind of clean stuff that we have come to expect to see from him over his long career, right? Is that, look, he knows what his job is. He is going to look for the things that his character is made to do, nothing more and nothing less. And right now, once again, playing with a great advantage. Goes off stage, but so too does Johny. Was not ready to get set up in that awkward scenario, so this set goes to even.
Absolutely. Dakpo, they were playing hot potato with that banana for a second, but eventually he was able to get the better end of it, send Johny off stage in a position where it was awkward for him to recover. And now we're going to see who's going to be able to take that advantage. I know they did run it right back to Pokemon Stadium 2, but with Dakpo being on the screen, I expect there to be counter picks to be had.
Well, and it's not even Dakpo being the one that's counterpicking.
It's actually Johny, who is normally a guy that is not opposed to running it back to PS2, but he's also not opposed to getting his stage counter picks either. And I think that especially against Diddy Kong, you don't necessarily want to have the biggest stage available to you possible. I think that going small against Diddy as a Roy player, you can continue to make him play with a little bit more fear.
Absolutely, and small battlefield is definitely one to do it. You've got the same platform layout as Pokemon Stadium 2, but maybe a little bit better position. Ooh, that forward tilt gonna send Dakpo in a position where you can cover that monkey flip beautifully. Because these platforms are so much closer to the ledge here, it is much easier to cover that kind of situation.
I honestly thought that might take the stock, and that really speaks testament to just how crazy that double-edged dance is. Also, Roy's item toss is pathetic.
It is not good. That monkey is short.
It's like the first time you try to teach somebody how to throw a baseball, and they just they don't like let the elbow fling. They just kind of just do that.
No follow through. But there was a lot of follow through in that down air. Dakpo commit heavy is going to catch that first stock off of Johny and barrels all the way to the other side.
This is when Dakpo starts to look comfortable, is that he says, if you make a mistake, I'm never, ever, ever going to let you get away with it. 53% got turned on so quickly, but Johny does have this ledge trap going. Kind of fortuitous that Dakpo actually got hit by that banana, giving so many more movement options, but he is still stuck in the corner, and Johny will feast on that every day of the week.
Absolutely. That back air is a menace of a move, does a ton of knockback, so absolutely barreling there. Banana, don't even need to connect it because of all that lag on that landing up special.
Nice, though, with that low forward air. Dakpo really had to wait until the last second to commit to anything, and he did not get a chance to commit to anything. Johny now looking for his big setup. A tech chase would do wonders for him right here to start racking up some damage. That's exactly what he looked for. You saw he went for that low side B3. You saw the green tint to the sword. That's what that indicates right there, but couldn't find it. We're getting walked across the stage. Good DI by Johny, but you're back in the blender. There is no escape. Dakpo will eat you alive.
Absolutely, and it's a catch-22 because if you DI out of those down tilts, that's what allows you to get walked across. But if you DI in, you are sent high up so that that up smash is a very easy connect.
Well, when you're talking about somebody who is as consistent as Dakpo, it might as well be a catch-23. Like, ramp it up another level.
He's got you booked no matter which way you go.
I like that. This catch-22 is a good book. I like it.
Gonna catch that banana, putting Johny in a rough spot on the plat.
Did you know that jokes are funnier when you explain them, by the way?
I love to explain a good joke.
All right, well, Dakpo is explaining to Johny exactly why he has been so good at this game for so long, because 95% means that we are just one more banana slap away from leading into a smash attack that can certainly end the game, but not over when Johny is on screen right now. Might have had his chance to even pop Dakpo's shield up on that platform, but now we're just going to see the monkey maneuver around. Got caught for it, though. Johny said, okay, you want to get away from me to get that shield back? I'm not giving you the chance.
Even with this position, I would say Dakpo cannot get comfortable because this rage, especially from ledge, I've seen Johny, he didn't know that the banana was there. I was going to say, I've seen these nairs come from Johny at the ledge where he turns everything around. He is at advantage there. Yeah, but he's going to connect just the edge of that up smash, but it is enough to take Dakpo ahead 2-1.
Just so much more clean as the set has gone on. I think he really just needed to get himself focused for this bracket, right? And now it looks like he is in peak form, up 2-1 against Johny, who again, such a menace for anybody that runs into him in bracket. But now Dakpo just needs one more dub against him to get his ticket punched to winners finals.
Absolutely, and that's where he wants to be. He wants to have a chance to show Beastly what Diddy can do against MuteAce.
This is what my Diddy does. Watch and learn, kid.
Said, check out my Diddy Kong tutorial on YouTube.
Such a long tutorial, by the way, because he really gave you the scrolls.
For real, if anyone wants to learn how to play Diddy Kong, check that out. It is very informative.
Well, right now, Dakpo will still have to earn his way in there. Johny, of course, already has one game on the board. That means that he could absolutely get two more. If he can win a game, he can win a set. But I love the option to go for the down smash right there. There is no chance you're getting back with Dakpo edge guarding you like that.
Yeah, Johny had to hang back to get bounced by the banana, but because he did, it was very easy for Dakpo to set up the down air. Johny answering back pretty quickly, though. 63% is a dangerous place to be against Roy, but Dakpo taking it in stride. Maybe taking a little bit too much. That back throw, no forward throw on the DI mix. Trying to catch him, DIing him proper catching on the plat.
The problem is that you're pretty much never going to give Diddy Kong or give the Roy the DI that's going to put you on the plat at that percent, because you're going to be DIing up and away for that back throw, and that means that you're probably not going to get sent on that platform. You're not going to get sent far enough. Still love the idea by Johny, though, but needs more than a couple of big ideas. He needs a big moment right here, kind of a bloop and a blast moment for him right now, because Dakpo has just been kind of untouchable in terms of big moments.
He has been chipping away at Johny, still picking up even when the move doesn't do everything you want it to. That's a Bob Ross connection there. Happy little reset.
Happy little reset.
115, but still looking healthy.
And I was talking about Dakpo not succumbing to the mental damage, and I forgot to mention that it's the same on the other side. Johny does finally seal that stock in with that up air, but you can kind of get a sense, you look at the player cam, he's taking a breath and he's like, man, I don't know if I know what to do about this, because Dakpo's gameplay is just so airtight when he's at his top form.
And Johny has a lot of practice, specifically in the matchup. He plays against Beastly on the reg, but sometimes when it's a completely different player of the character, you've got some other things to look for. It can be difficult.
That can throw you for a loop. Like sometimes, especially when they play as differently as Dakpo and Beastly do, that can even make things worse for you, because you're expecting a certain sequence of pressure or certain actions and spots and disadvantage from the Diddy Kong. But Dakpo has been so different in those moments that Johny has not been able to get the solid reads that, like I was mentioning, lead to those big moments that he needs. And right now, I mean, we're at the ballpark right now. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks if you please.
And Dakpo was so comfy tossing out that pop gun from that position, because he knew with banana in hand, the only way that Johny gets through him is with the banana, and that just puts him back at ledge.
Yeah, it's an excellent point, but more than at the ledge, Johny does get that back air, does take it to last stock right here, and like you were saying, where there is a stock with Johny, he can do crazy things, let that grab rip a little bit too early, but he still has Dakpo in a bad spot.
That down tilt was a big connection, though. Dakpo taking the chance to put Johny off stage. Once again, that's where Johny can be strongest sometimes, as counterintuitive as it seems. Doesn't get the jab to connect, with the up smash doesn't either. This time, though, Dakpo connects it and does finish out the set. 3-1 his favor, looking incredibly solid.
And you can see, you saw Dakpo with the fist pump, with the pop-off, right? That, look, it doesn't matter how long you've been playing this game, when you go up against somebody that puts that kind of pressure on you, when you get down to a tech chase that could have been the end of the game if you picked wrong, there is going to be some tension that gets relieved at the end of that game. But Dakpo does close it out 3-1, punches his ticket to winners finals like we were talking about. And that is going to be very exciting when that comes up, to get to watch two people who are just an absolute battle of the minds kind of competitive thing.
Oh yeah, it's going to be a little bit more slow-paced, I feel like, than it was Beastly versus MuteAce, and it'll give us a little bit of a different perspective on what the characters toolkit DJDON can bring into the matchup. Like we were saying, there is a lot of good things that DJDON is able to bring to the table. See if Dakpo is going to be able to bring a different perspective to it than we just saw a little bit ago.
I mean, I'm sure it will be a different perspective, but that, of course, will be coming up a little bit later because we got to start getting through a few more of these losers matches. Losers quarters will be coming up, and we have got to take a look at that. I think we're actually going to get to take a look at the bracket in case you've missed the action leading up to this point. You can see those winners matches. Just saw Dakpo take that 3-1 win over Johny. MuteAce with the 3-0 over Beastly. Earlier, at the start of the bracket, Lima and DJDON went down to the brink in a Game 5 set, but Lima did come out on top, the DFW #1 staying alive, and MBD and Kaden battled it out in a battle of the out-of-city players, and it is the Vegas Snake and MBD that moves on, so Johnny's going to get a double dip of the Vegas veterans.
Starting off with Dakpo, now up against MBD, but first we're going to give him a little bit of a break after that 10th set, and it's going to be Beastly and Lima duking it out. And this is a typical Ultimate Shockwave winners, losers, and grand finals.
You come to the weekly, you expect this to be first and second place.
Yeah.
And now they're playing for 5th.
That is a rough place to be in. In the last time that they battled, I believe it was Beastly who took it out in winners, but Lima ended up resetting the bracket and taking the whole tournament. So they have traded quite a few different sets.
I think that was literally like 4 days ago. Too.
Yeah, it was just a couple days ago.
It was literally last Wednesday.
These players consistently are pushing each other to the brink, and I believe it was last Wednesday that Beastly was wearing this same Raptors jersey.
He was wearing the Raptors jersey, wasn't he?
He was playing hot then, and I feel like if it brings out that energy, playing hot now.
Mojo.
You only have to take one set now. It's not like there's any reset to be worried about.
But that also means that Lima might be, a bit more locked in at the start. So let's see. I kind of expect Pokemon Stadium 2 for the entire set because these two often do that. But let's get at it. Lima and Beastly, Bayo versus Diddy.
One thing you should note, despite what we've seen a lot of monkeying around in the past couple of sets with Diddy Kong, expect to see very little banana pulled out of Beastly until we hit those KO percents off of a confirm from it, because Lima has such easy access to Witch Time on an active hitbox of that banana, and actually easy access to extend the combos as well.
Yeah, you can literally just walk up to the banana, use the Witch Time, and then it just creates you an opening if Diddy is standing too close to that banana. Lima not able to convert into that back air after the up tilt. It's kind of an awkward percent with no rage, but the jab's extremely strong, and even with a character that's somewhat heavy like Diddy, still going to take the stock.
Pulls out the banana now to try to make a comeback, but that's another thing to point out right there is whenever that banana is in Bayonetta's hand, normally when you use multiple specials and land afterwards, you get additional special landing lag for each special you use.
Like a lot.
Yeah, but when you toss an item throughout the combo, you actually negate all of that and just land with regular landing lag.
Yeah, it just completely resets it, and that's one of the reasons why, again, you don't see Beastly pull out the banana until it's kind of time to start hunting for that kill confirm generally, or if he knows that he's just going to have it in hand when it's a ledge trap scenario. Right now, yeah, doesn't even have time to pull out that banana because he knows that Beastly's going to, or that Lima is going to try to land on him as quickly as possible.
Here we see down tilt to up smash. I wouldn't be surprised if the banana disappeared here. No, we're going to get one rep away from it because it'll disappear now after the toss, and Lima can't pick it up again. But the forward smash is going to catch Beastly's roll. Lima, a solid stock lead.
I do want to talk about what you were saying, though, that having that banana with only one hit available to it, right? You only get to toss it twice, and when it's sitting on the ground, yeah, Bayonetta, like we were talking about, just gets to walk up and Witch Time it if she wants to, or worse, pick it up, right? Which can also lead to a ton for her. But Beastly's like, okay, I just get to throw it once, and that's it. But, man, you only get one chance against Bayonetta off stage, and Beastly, he's going to have to take another trip out there. Barrels go away, but he does have his double jump, so he is able to make it back.
Yeah, barely in a really scary scenario.
Barely. I see what you did there. Oh my God!
Invincibility. Lima had been playing around for too long, so Beastly was able to catch that downer, take it to a last stock, and with banana in hand, there's certainly a chance here, but shield poke with the Witch Twist, that's a large chance for Lima. Holy, what a chase!
One of the craziest things about the game is that the shield does actually only cover what it covers. If your head is exposed, you can get hit on your head.
Oh!
Oh my God, he had the air dodge bumper, and Lima's still gonna try to finish off this combo off the top of Beastly. Some insane defensive play right now to stay alive. Does take some extra damage though, and holding forward, catches that back air to the face. Lima gets that game one.
That's one spike stiletto you do not want to take to the forehead, but he does end up taking that first game. Lima looking really solid. Had a very large lead going into it, but Beastly was able to slowly claw it back. Maybe if the momentum starts off in his favor in the second game, we could see a little bit of a swing. But so far, Lima is looking so incredibly solid.
That's the thing about these two playing against each other is that it never seems like either of them are fully out of it. At any point in the set, right, even when one of them is dominating, we know that the other one can turn on the jets. But yeah, it does look like it is quite Lima favored right now because he's not dropping his combos. He's not giving Beastly big openings either. And honestly, if you got those two things going, you're going to have a lot of success in this game.
And especially in the matchup, I feel like unless you are winning with Diddy Kong, it is rough to say that things are even. Because when Diddy Kong is playing from behind, it's a lot harder for him to find those super moves to answer Bayonetta. But Bayonetta can find a lot of stray hits that convert into a scary situation, especially when he has to recover like this. Off stage is a rough place to be, and even recovering high, if Bayonetta calls that out, it's lights out.
So huge for Beastly that he had both his double jump and the monkey flip available to him to make it back, though. Does get that Bayo off stage, and again, one toss available to him on that banana, making it much harder for Lima to make use of the witch time. Did try to jump up air dodge to catch it, right? Didn't want to get hit by the prep ball either, but Diddy will go back off stage once again, and at this high percent, I mean, it only takes one hit from Lima.
Tosses the banana up, didn't realize he had it, was trying to go for some jab pressure. Oh, no tech under the stage.
And no double jump either, so he's not able to get the distance that he needs on that rocket barrel boost.
Up throw up air, not going to KO without any rage here.
All right, Beastly back to center stage control, though, and trying to catch that landing from Lima. Sometimes you will catch an overcommit or even a read on one of those ABKs down towards the stage. There you see that witch time on the banana coming through, but Beastly is keeping his distance. Doesn't really matter right now, though, because up close to Lima, that's some big damage, but there's that very end lingering hit of that ABK that really doesn't send you anywhere.
That forward tilt does such a good job of covering the ledge. Banana not able to catch.
Oh. Man, you look at Beastly in the player cam too. He's like, man, really that whipped? Amazed that he was able to make it back after that monkey flip kick too, which takes away your ability to use that up B to make it back to the stage. But we're not worried about recoveries right now. We are worried about taking that stock if we're Beastly.
Oh my goodness, no jump from this position after barrels, and that is going to be it from here. It's just a rinse repeat from Lima.
My goodness, he just says, okay, you're worried about the barrels. They just fly around if they get knocked off of Diddy Kong, and he can actually control them in the air to a small degree. And Beastly is like, okay, you're focusing on that. I'll just get my stock right now.
Absolutely. Waited out the witch time, got the down tilt confirmed. Look at his eyes. Man, he is on something.
he was definitely seeing stars.
Yeah.
Where am I?
I've never seen pupils so dilated.
Sure. Have you been eating bananas this evening? I like implying that bananas are like catnip for monkeys. Oh my gosh. And that's catnip for the Lima fans right there. It is just drugs on drugs. You can get a read like that. Feels so nice to connect something there. Lima does go up 2-0 in this set.
Again, playing with a lead, and it looks insurmountable. Just playing so well not to get hit in the first place that Beastly could not keep up. Finally going for a change in the stage.
I seldom expect to see that when Beastly is in control of the stage counter pick. But when things aren't working, they're not working, right? Change them up, because honestly, I don't even feel like Beastly's playing that bad.
No.
I'm seeing a lot of the very similar gameplay that got him into winner's side of top 8 in the first place, but Lima's just playing that well right now.
Absolutely. And it looks like he is continuing that same level of pressure, even on the counter pick. The new stage, he's done!
Oh my gosh. The Kalos Blast Zone's coming in so huge for Beastly. Everybody on the planet expected him to be gone there, but Beastly said, I'm still hanging on by a thread.
And that's why he's here. That's one of the reasons that he picked it. He gets more ways to mix up the recovery because of that wall cling, but also these blast zones certainly helping him out. Nothing can save you, though, from all of that damage connecting that jab from that position. Lima still maintaining a lot of momentum in this third game.
I mean, Beastly just has not been able to put on any offensive pressure on Lima, right? Like, he has just been completely unbothered by this Diddy Kong. And he knows that in this position, right, with Beastly down so much, he's down 2-0 in the set as well. We're going to see a lot of Beastly holding forward, looking for those big moments, and as long as you avoid those, you're probably going to come out on top.
Up air to get out of the aggressive situation, but that witch time is big for Bayo. Forced on the flat, but not finding a big extension. Beastly finally has feet on the ground.
Has not happened very often, but once again, taking the skies and getting air-to-air by Bayonetta. And we see Lima just retreating to that platform, actually mashing out of that monkey with the command grab as well. Just everything going right for him right now. Those big blast zones helping him out too. Beastly just cannot catch a break right now.
Oh, he's got to block it, but that's just going to be a free grab for Lima. Once again, showing off why we've seen less banana in this matchup than you typically expect of Diddy Kong. Using that wall jump expertly to still recover in a situation where I feel like on any other stage you're not making it back.
But Beastly does finally pick up his stock, but you can see the player cam, no reaction. He knows, man, I just kept chipping away at him and I took too much damage in return. Gotta get a big moment going right here. And he's looking for it, tried to go for banana into the down air, but realized he was never gonna get it. Just tried to get back on stage, but Lima is still maintaining control.
Doing such a good job of catching Beastly, chasing him down. That back air is one good way to plant it. Controlling center.
It's so strange to see Beastly not being hyper-aggressive with the Diddy, right? But he just is overthinking it, right? Where do I even find an opening? And he kind of has to because nothing has been landing for him. Lima's defense has been a little bit too immutable. Does finally build up that 71%, but like you were saying, that's not enough for Diddy. You've got to work hard to earn those stocks.
Absolutely, chasing the air dodge away with another heel slide, going deep off stage. Beastly still holding on, but this is his potentially tournament stock at 100% right now. Beastly knows Lima has another one in the tank. He's going to use it now. Final stock on this game 3 for both players.
He's a fighter to the very bitter end, and he is focused right now. It's not giving Lima any of those really funny set enders, right? Looking for a few reads on a wayward jump or roll, but Beastly's not panicking right now. Still in a pretty good spot in terms of percentages. Not immediately done just yet, but Lima, aggressive off the stage, catches that monkey flip. Like you said, barrel's not available to him, and it is a 3-0 for Dallas's #1.
And Lima looking incredibly solid. Moving forward in the bracket to play against the winner now of Johny and MVD, both stepping up to the plate. It's going to be, like you mentioned before, Johny against another Vegas native at this point.
A Vegas veteran.
Vegas implant, I suppose.
I like to give the Vegas veteran. I like the alliteration.
It's good. It's good.
A very Vegas veteran.
I will say, out of Johny previously, we saw the Roy. I don't expect to see the same here. Typically against Snake, we will see Johny, who is a counter picker. He is a fan of the swords, will pull out the Sephiroth to see what he can do against MVD here.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, I would imagine that the counter picks could be helpful. Roy is a very unfavorable matchup against Snake. Honestly, a lot of sword characters are, but Sephiroth is a little bit of an exception, right? Because he has a lot of, we were talking about it earlier, precise hitboxes. We saw Caden take advantage of that with Ridley as well, who kind of was a proto-Sephiroth before Sephiroth was in the game, right? Yeah. Having disjointed but very particular pokey hitboxes. That's what Sephiroth specializes in, so we'll see if that's what we get in this set.
Both of these characters, I feel like when they're playing against each other, when they are in advantage, it really feels like the other character has very little options. Like, what do they do? So both of them look like they can steamroll with momentum. The question for me is how well is Johny going to be able to access and utilize that one wing, the comeback mechanic of Sephiroth? Because if we're having to use it to come from behind, it becomes much more difficult by the time you have to actually close out the final stock. You won't have it anymore because it does dissipate. But if, usually, if you're able to come and use that to surmount an additional lead, that is when Sephiroth looks particularly potent in the matchup.
It's supposed to be in the same vein of like Lucario's comeback mechanics, except it's actually completely in reverse because the further ahead in the lead you are, the better it gets.
Yeah.
It does activate later if you're in the lead, but also, again, you don't want it to go away when you take a stock and then you need it for that last one. So will be a test of skill here for Johny with the Sephiroth. Again, I would say more or less a dual main with the Roy, but we'll see how it does against that MVD Snake, who again, I mean, Sephiroth loves to play at a particular range, and Snake loves to say, I'm not going to let you play in the spot that you want to play in.
Trying to get those Shadow Flares will be huge because you can set up beautifully off of Snake's own grenades if they're sitting too comfy and shield with them.
Yeah, definitely can rack up tons of shield damage, tons of pressure. I mean, yeah, against a character like Snake, who's constantly taking trades and stuff, could be free damage. There's that one wing already activated for Johny, and might I remind you, despite what it may look like, Sephiroth is an extremely light character.
Yes, very light, but right now, pretty fast and very strong hitboxes with that wing active. Finally getting something started. It feels like that was the first normal I think MVD connected, shades of that second game against Kaden, where Johny has just been getting blown up by these grenades.
Well, and that's the game plan that MVD loves. He likes to see if you are going to quite literally blow yourself up in the game, and sometimes he'll take the fight to you with the Nikita. He is the Nikita technician when it comes to this game. Nobody makes better use of that move than him, and it is a powerful one to master. MVD throwing his hand out there somehow, saying, no, you're not going to hit me. Get out of here.
Maybe responding to the crowd at this moment. They have been getting a little bit loud for some other games. I wouldn't be shocked to hear them giving some cheers to their fellow players. Oh, that's a big downer to connect. Johny stopping out that stock a little early enough that we're not taking extra percent. 36 is fine.
The thing you're going to want to watch on that recovery, by the way, is that it looks like, oh, well, that's so impossible for Snake. Johny just down airs that Cypher every time, right? But there's a 50-50 to be played there because MVD can also air dodge out of that Cypher at the correct timing, send that Cypher into the Sephiroth. You can make it back to that ledge safely, but it is kind of forcing a 50-50. And speaking of which, that C4 stuck now to MVD. It was initially on Johny, but that does get transferred sometimes in contest.
Oh, now it's on Johny, and committed to the aerial, got blown up for it.
Love you look at the player cam too. Johny was kind of laughing at that. He was like, oh, yeah, okay. I guess it was on me.
One thing that Johny will continuously do is he's laughing about the game. He's playing to have a good time.
Oh, dude, he plays the game to enjoy it and nothing else. Oh, I thought MVD was going for another stick on the C4, but did not put it on that cape.
Dash attack going to catch that whip grab from Johny again, poking these grenades literally with that sword has been no good for him. And yeah, he canceled that early. Looks like he was going to hold that up special to get a lot of extra damage on MVD on the shield. A typical Sephiroth counterplay to ledge, but whenever that grenade gets pulled, you know that's bad news.
Bad news bears indeed, but right now, Johny sitting here, we'll see if MVD goes for that mix-up. No, and Johny was trying to call out that mix-up of the air dodge off of the Cypher, and instead incurs a ton of end lag. MVD gets right back on stage. F-tilts Johny off to the side into the blast zone. And it will be a lead that MVD gets to play with here, a 1-0 lead.
Now it's going to be up to Johny. I'm hoping a little bit of a different stage. This is typically one that Snake is very good at figurating on, doing a good job of running away with those grenades and saying, hey, catch me if you can. That's where we saw that first 90% collect on Johny, where we saw that lead develop. I would love to see a smaller stadium or one where we really just don't have the two platform access. If we could get to something like a Bastion or a Smashville, which I'm sure that they've been banned, but come on, we need some kind of access to a flatter stage or one where it's harder for MVD to utilize those platforms for the extra movement.
Well, honestly, you do want to be able to take advantage of that as Sephiroth, though. It's tough because you don't really get to safely play center stage when you have a mono platform, because Snake loves to just toss all his explosives on there and control that. And on a flat stage, Snake's going to stick to the ground, make a lot of use of that crouch and stuff to make it hard for Johny to actually approach and play his own game plan. I think that dual platforms has its own merit in this matchup, where MVD is going to have to jump up onto those platforms to set the grenades and everything on there to control the game, and in theory, that's where Johny should try to control the game and hit MVD for going up there. But so far, man, it's been an even game, even a little bit MVD favored.
Yeah, he has done a good job of pulling out these grenades at the right time. Finally, connecting a very deep back air with wing is absolutely going to do it for that position.
You see MVD using that crawl, that crouch to get under the shadow players, and then right in there to just land that up tilt so quick out of that crouch as well. And he is happy to take a trade on these grenades every single time because, again, Sephiroth is so light. 10% on Snake is worth 20% on Sephiroth.
Absolutely. And here we're seeing, because he got so thin with that back air, ducking under Johnny's back air of his own. Shadow Flare just in time, able to pull the shield up.
I love MVD getting at the spacing right where he knows that that blade slash, the blade dash, will not be able to connect, right? That he knows that that hitbox is not going to be active. Pulled out that grenade. Up tilt's not enough to do it. Honestly surprises me, but the Nikita technician is back out here. Did not mash that button fast enough to keep it active through the Octo Slash. Great recognition on the C4 as well by Johny, who's blazing his comeback trail.
This wing is definitely going to be big to making that happen. The only struggle is, oh,
wow!
there is no struggle. No struggle at all. We're maintaining the wing through this last stock of MVD for now, and we've got a whole other stock to play with as Johny. Back throw going to set up a Nikita opportunity. No chance to tech it, and no chance to charge up the Shadow Flare enough to get the Octo Slash enough, rather, to get that Nikita offline.
And even with the length of the Masamune, you just cannot get far enough away to poke at a grenade and not get hit yourself with Sephiroth, it seems. Even though Johny tries, he might, is going for it. But 77% on Snake, the C4 detonating on him in mid-air, though. Great call by MVD right there. But up close, the scrap does go to Snake with those amazing CQC options. But we're taking a trip off stage. Hold up!
Oh, he's going to the other side using the Shadow Flare as a tool.
Oh, the air dodge actually wouldn't have made it back. Johny saved him. Going off stage with the Octo Slash, though. It was hit him or die, and it was the former for Johny, and he is cheesing about it.
Absolutely. Making the big plays when he has to. Johny always fiending for a clip, but also fiending for the dub at the same time, and that's the best way to be.
Oh, my gosh. That is the only way for Johny to be, it seems. I mean, just every single time he plays, you can just see that. Watch the character. It just exudes joy.
He is a playmaker, and I'm a big fan of it. See what he can do. Now up against MVD in their third game. Who's going to get that counter pick advantage throughout the set, and who's going to be able to run with that momentum knowing they have the extra game to play with.
I'm learning now that MVD, I guess, is a Kingdom Hearts guy, by the way. He's picked the Kingdom Hearts song like 2 or 3 times on these Battlefield picks, and it's been his advantage.
It really does make it feel like this is a Sephiroth boss battle.
Yeah, you're right. And you know what? It would make sense thematically, too. My God, you were not watching out for that mortar, were you? Goodness gracious.
Died at about 100%, and like we mentioned, look, Sephiroth looks like a big, hefty guy, but he does not have a large weight to him, reading the heck out of that roll, but it's not going to be enough to even up the stocks. Johnny's got a little bit more work to do. It's been deep off-stage back airs with the wing that have given him most of the stocks.
I like that Johny has been fine with MVD running away into the corner, by the way, because he knows that, look, as long as I'm somewhere near center stage, I'm probably close enough to actually threaten a hit against MVD, because Sephiroth's reach is just so crazy. Again, on a stage like Small Battlefield, that's great. If he had had wing, he could have armored through that.
Yeah, but he didn't quite have it, and maybe didn't recognize where the C4 was, or thought he could get out fast enough for a trade. At the end of the day, though, MVD got his feet on the ground, not falling into the up smash, does catch the C4 once more. You got to keep your eye on it.
At that time, Johny did, not letting MVD detonate it out for free. Now that Snake is off stage, and Johny, with that one wing, can immediately get up there and land that forwarder, and it does hold on, persisting into the second stock.
Gets that little snap. 2 swirling Shadow Flares. A lot of shield pressure. Tried to chase MVD, jumping off the flat afterwards, but doesn't find it. Sitting at a very high percent. Wing might not stick around to finish the second stock.
All right, here we go, though. That juicy landing there can lead to so much damage. It's usually pretty telegraphed, but Johny finding his opening right there. Got that 56 on MVD, and again, I love that aggression right there, going towards him with the blade dash. High recovery is going to get poked out again by that forward air. Now we're playing guessing games.
I might have lied. This wing looks like it's holding on for dear life, but the up tilt does end its lifespan a little bit early. 107 on MVD, and without that wing, Johnny's going to have to find something pretty far off stage to get it done.
Had to respect that grenade slowly rolling towards him. Extra damage tossing MVD into his own cooked grenade sitting on that platform. Landing the slice of that back air as well. It's 1 stock apiece on a crucial pivot point in this set.
And Johny, because he was able to even it up so quickly, will have access to wing when it matters unless MVD finds a crazy conversion off the side, which he is no stranger to.
I have seen him do it many times, and it looked like he was about to set up for it right there, too. 47% on Johny came quick.
Thanking his lucky stars, he only took 60 from that position. Double back airs, and using the Shadow Flare to force the early Cypher. He has been catching Nikita. And he didn't remember where it was on the left platform. MVD catches Johny trying to chase the landing. And MVD now up 2-1.
He's solid. Little sleight of hand. MVD literally bringing the Vegas magic right here. You go for a magic show, where'd the C4 go? Right under your feet. And that's not the Oprah show I want to go to.
Oh no, that is, look.
Everybody look under your chairs. Free plastic explosives for everybody.
Ah! Not for me!
It's like that bees gift where she's just sending bees everywhere.
Everybody's
like,
gets bees! Yeah, not what you want to see. If you're MVD, though, maybe it is. Who knows? Starting off once again with that C4, keeping Johny on his toes.
Ooh, I love that up throw into the up tilt. The up throw not often seen in this game, but it is specifically for that setup right there to get some guaranteed early damage where you're not setting up for stuff like back throwing to C4 yet, but MVD maybe working on a 0 to death on this first stock, and he does indeed get it. Again, the magic show strikes again. It's like we're in the MGM brand or something.
Yeah, that Sephiroth is just so tall that he can't be near these platforms when the C4 is there. Great angle on the shield to block that back air so high. You get a lot of extra frame advantage. Look at this.
Dude, a jab reset from Johny on that side platform. Lots of shield damage right there, and that means MVD cannot throw it up safely. Johny, he got that first stock demolished, but he is really on a comeback trail, and mind you, with no wing. This is just raw Sephiroth.
Looking to answer very quickly. The back air continuing to pressure, but going for the Shadow Flare to catch MVD's movement.
That charged it a little bit too long.
No.
We're waiting.
Oh! He ducked! Out of the way!
And again, you look at the player cam, and Johnny's like, I know I shouldn't have done that. I know I shouldn't have done that in any universe.
Oh, the footstool set up for the C4 on the pad, and Johny said, where did you put it there? When did it go?
It's not Nitro. Oh my gosh, Johny does finally get that first one on the board, but man, MVD is just hitting him with the tricks. Said, if you didn't play Brawl, you just weren't ready, I guess.
He was too young for this.
Johnny may have also only been born with Brawl game.
Man, genuinely, he's a young kid.
And landing with that Nair, though, detonating that grenade. And again, that's one of the... Okay, I knew that one was there.
He is just simply too large.
Sephiroth is a big guy. And honestly, the way that Johny moves, too, I mean, like, he has crazy movement. It's not always the most controlled.
Yeah, he is.
Less of an F1 car and more of, like, a muscle car.
Oh! Down smash not connecting at all. MVD to the other side. Johnny's scrambling to get him over the ledge.
You see the C4, right?
He can't approach.
Right there on that platform. Okay. He said, if I just go fast.
Zoom! To the blast zone. Those boots coming through for MVD. It was just too much for Johny to get through that myriad of grenade and C4. Really, particularly the C4 it was that MVD was able to route his way all the way into losers semifinals now.
A juggling act to the highest degree, and we've talked about it to death this weekend, but if there's one thing MVD does so well, it's controlling the stage with all of Snake's tools, and there really just wasn't any position for Johny to be able to go exactly where he wanted to be and control his pace of the game. It was all time for MVD to do that. And it's time for us to get out of here because Ultimate Top 8 is halfway done, and we've got to toss it off to another pair of casters. Ajax and Big Juan H-Box is also going to be stepping onto the mic. So for all of you who love people who bring the hype, you're going to get that for the top 4. But it has been such a pleasure to do this again, Ryan.
As always, it's been your boys next door. I hope you enjoyed. You can always check us out at twitch.tv/tourneylocator or the YouTube as well. Every Wednesday at Ultimate Shockwaves, we're most likely going to be there where you can see some of the same players that have been representing throughout the whole tournament. So definitely give it a shout if you want to see some more action from us. And again, if you want to see more Super Smash Bros. Action, you got to stay tuned because we're coming right back at you.
Right, DreamHack, welcome back to Championship Sunday. It is time for competitors remain here for top 4 action, and they are playing for that $5,000 pop bonus, and I am here with the one and only, the God, Hungrybox himself. How you doing?
I'm doing well. I was just finished up Melee. It was a lot of fun, and as usual, whenever the DreamHack is always Melee and Ultimate, so 4 of the best players in Texas remain, and I think we're actually going to go into our winners finals, which is going to be Dakpo and MuteAce.
You know, there may not be a concert this time, but it's still a show. So we're still going to have a good time to put on for everybody
noisy.
here. It's still a bit
still
noisy in the building, as everybody should be, because DFW's own is back. He may have moved over to Vegas, but he is back here in a familiar position. Dakpo is up there with that Diddy Kong performing so well, but he's got to go up against, arguably, when everything is working, one of the best players and can beat anyone in the business, MuteAce.
Of course, MuteAce with the legendary nearly winner's place, second place run at Genesis, and of course proving to the rest of the world that he has what it takes to be anyone with a tag, with a sponsor, doesn't matter who it is. And he plays a character that's considered one of the hardest to play in the whole game, that being Peach Daisy.
Yeah, speaking of criminal activity, the fact that there's no sponsor in front of MuteAce's name, that should change rapidly if anybody's paying attention. But on the other side of that, Dakpo, like we said, went on over to Vegas, but has always been known over here, has been playing Diddy Kong, ZSS and company for a long time, pretty much since 4 and up. But if you talk about anything that has been figured out by Diddy Kong in this game, majority of that time, that tech came from this man right here.
Yep, and Dakpo now looking to make a big upset. Would be a really huge win for himself. Of course, even though they're both Texas players, Dakpo is the one who has a lot to prove right here. You have to understand, turnips versus bananas. Once in the air, always floating. Bananas conquer the ground in all cases.
Yeah.
With state choices like small battlefields, Dakpo's probably looking for an up smash kill or a down tilt up smash, whatever he needs.
Yeah, one of the things that becomes a problem with Banana, against most characters, usually they're grounded, but because float is always active and MuteAce is constantly pressuring on shield, it's usually a lot easier to navigate around that, and because turnips are always used, MuteAce is going to know how to utilize that banana in combo, so Dakpo's got to be very careful about where he decides to place it.
Right, all it takes is one good banana read, and then MuteAce is going to be at the mercy of a combo, with like 40 and 60%. He's keeping us right now, but Dakpo only 15 on him, staying defensive.
Luckily not getting caught on the tech in place on that platform, because that leads to a lot more. But speaking of tech in place, that down tilt coming through, had a frame shot, but because Banana was there, I think that MuteAce didn't feel the confidence to try and land on there, to try and push a little bit more.
And every time you play against a Peach player, or really well for the first time, you notice just how much they can extend both up airs, fairs. Peach's hitboxes are actually enormous for aerials.
It becomes very frightening too. One thing at least that Dakpo has going for him, for one, very good anti-air character. Up smash being one, short hop forward air being another, and it's kind of what's happening. He's building up this damage pretty rapidly, HBox, so let's see if he's able to close it out anytime soon.
I mean, MuteAce is going to have to catch that barrel a little better if he wants to clear out stocks early. You can also give Diddy Kong, if you get the right read, but with enough good maneuverability, it's really hard to tell. Plus, he has monkey flip to mix it up.
One solid down air, too, will just knock you out of rocket barrel. So you got to be very careful, like you just said, about where you want to land. I like these B reverse popcorn cancels on this on that neutral B to try and make Mute stay grounded. Because, like, hey, you sure you want to come up here and take a back air instead?
Taking a page out of Tweak's book right here. Can't really tell where he's going to go. These immediate cancels pivoting in mid-air. It's actually very, very impressive. Edge guard attempt from Dakpo. Not going to go for it, keeping it safe. Don't overextend there.
Actually getting back on two without getting punished for that air dodge back to stage. MuteAce is one of the best players, though, when it comes to being in a stressful situation, I think, in the game. So this 158 not looking too bad, and because of Diddy Kong's factor, like, kind of falling out of down tilt to up smash past 130, I think Dude's playing perfectly fine because he knows that kill confirm's not on board. Yeah,
I call him last hit Hector. This man cannot lose when it's the scuffle in the last stock. And an unfortunate missed recovery from Dakpo. That's only the first stock of the entire set, believe it or not.
You never want to see that happen, but looking for Dakpo. Up tilt here, pretty much, up tilt is probably going to be the kill option from him. Looking for an anti-air on Peach at 158. But for Mute, you're looking for a huge combo. He doesn't want to get that turnip throw tossed back, because that's where you see those 0 to deaths coming.
Yep. Hold the turnip. He knows there's no reason to overextend right here. That next one will kill. 173. Amazing DI so far from MuteAce, staying well much longer than we would have thought with a stock like this.
Yeah, bit of a struggle, and he softed a barrel finally to it. Like, that's not what I expected to end up being the kill option there, but it finally worked out. And catches, he just barely missed getting the nair on that platform.
Yeah, that pyramid scheme would have looked really, really good. These edge cancels are also looking kind of tricky. MuteAce feeling a little more comfy here, 40% lead. Turnip in hand saying, come to my domain. He heads down, misses the turnip though, and is back to neutral. These two are just moving around these platforms as eloquently as they can.
This is where things get so frightening too. When MuteAce starts to slow the game down to a crawl and you can't find an opening as he's just hovering underneath that platform saying, please come to me like you just said, that is a house you do not want to enter. But this is as close as we can get at the moment. Dakpo trying to get a punish, but instead takes it there.
Yeah, I always feel like Peach actually has a passive, you know? Like, if you don't approach her, you can just stay. He'll throw out turnips. Eventually get a dot eyes, a stitch, or even a bomb if you're not careful. So you don't want to let her babysit too long. You always want to be around in her space because you want to show her pulling a turnip is never safe.
I'm not trying to test RNGs today. Yesterday we saw like 7 stitches show up during the climb to top 8 and then a couple Mr. Shattered. So you on this here Sunday, I don't think you want to try and test that factor. 111 though, that very close to taking that upper to being a stock.
Bro, if I see 7 stitch faces again, I'm gonna say check him disc, man. There's no way I'm gonna allow that. There's gotta be some.
Got questions about the setup.
Okay, Dakpo, clever recovery there. There's the crescent underneath the stage. overextending a little bit there. 142. MuteAce edge guarded him again. Let's Dakpo go to the other side.
Hey, any way you can avoid the ledge trap is a W in and of itself. You are at down tilt to up smash percent. That one will just be a straight up one, though. He still has at least one more in him to be able to get that down tilt up smash.
Yeah, soft fair once more. Dakpo looking for the hard call out. Reed up smashing to take the lead on game one.
Like we said, anti-air gameplay is going to be the main way Diddy Kong wins in this matchup at all. You have to be able to stop that, but that's going to be another up air coming in through MuteAce. But look at that timer. At 2 minutes, 20 seconds, we have now only just reached the last stop.
You wouldn't think Diddy Kong Peach goes to time, but you know, in this meta, anything's possible, man. We just saw Ganondorf almost make top 8 in a huge melee national. Who knows?
It continues. I mean, a lot of the complaints of players for the most part is the meta right now is 0 to deaths. So trying to avoid that has become such a problem. But both MuteAce and Dakpo showcasing defense is what wins championships, and this game number 1 is a big case of that as we are now under that 2-minute mark.
It is right there. Dakpo with the turret locator jersey, trying to make him proud. 40% lead here. Mute grabs a peanut and actually gets an opening off it. Gets a read on the platform, almost killing.
One more of those and that'll do it right there. We're going to look to get that turnip toss down. Maybe a downer at ledge to try and establish some pressure, but Dakpo, and he makes a mistake. That's the last way you want to see the match go. Dakpo had a very close game all the way through, but there's an age-old saying, we take those.
We do indeed take those regardless of the day of the week. And you know what's funny is that after all that work and movement, all you're going to remember from that game is that very last moment, that last stock and what happened. Dakpo just missing out on that early set lead.
Yeah, the main thing always to remember, of course, when you're in these positions, if you have a game, you have a chance. And that was just one. It was only the first one to go down. You just have plenty of time to make adaptation. And for Dakpo, he looked good the entire game. It was purely that early SD that happened off the wall with the barrel explosions, but he was so close he was able to get the KO shortly after, and then a misinput there at the end. So hopefully he can put that in his back pocket, because you don't want to see that start to mentally take you down, because MuteAce will fully take advantage of if you start to get really frustrated.
Yeah, I can already tell you when it's like the nail in the coffin. If this next game opens up right now with a 0 to 80 string on a flat stage, the set's over.
Yeah.
I'm calling it right there.
Which could possibly be a thing. Most of the time, nobody wants to take Diddy Kong to FD, but I feel like Peach is one of the few characters that can play around it a bit more. I don't know if we'll get that here, but we're going to take a look at where we have gone. It's going to be running it right back to small battlefield.
He's like, oh, you just spawned? Kill percent.
Yep.
I got you.
I've learned recently, because I thought Texas, because of MuteAce and Lima Company, was actually a bit more passive. No, they're very aggressive. Please don't do it again.
No.
Don't do it again. Okay.
Okay,
Yep. We'll call that the homie. I know you didn't mean to help him there, but at least Dakpo didn't end up SDing to start it off.
Yeah. We don't want to say. I want to say a good match, and honestly, it was pretty close enough first game to have a good set.
Yeah. It's only continuing here. Dakpo, again, has been looking really good overall, but MuteAce, as the match progresses, is usually where things start to get more difficult. You can't give him that time to make the adjustments to start to figure out exactly what he needs to do to not let you get those pop start cancel reverses that he keeps trying to land, but Mute saying, I'm just going to stay here in center. I don't really care about that.
Now maneuvering just above the stage, between that space between the platform and the floor. That's where you really want to be. Allow space to come down with this flurry of aerials safely too. And the name in Smash Bros, if any game is going to be hit and run and don't get hit, it's this one.
Yeah, I think simplicity is key is such a huge factor in this matchup. Doing too much will cause problems, but that one, nice and simple. Banana toss right before it's smash.
Or doing just enough right there. That killed when he was at 138. No Diagon to save you there.
Yeah, the last game, he had multiple times where Mute went up plus 150-ish, so that's already a win right there. And your view in this matchup, too, because things are a little bit difficult to approach consistently against someone like Peach, how does Dakpo continue to hold the lead?
I mean, look, you need to stay on the center stage and do not overextend ever. Banana can do all the work for you just with his presence right there. Right now, grab the banana, go back onto the platform, and which mid comes to you. You can trade every single time for like 13, 14% even with one hit. Or if you're lucky, you can actually get a nair out of shield and start a little chain. A little 1-2.
Kind of been working out in that way, too. He's already gotten 69%, and most of the damage keeps coming from he gets underneath or hide by the platform. You got to commit to a jump in or something on shield, and I'm going to punish you every time for it. And he keeps getting swings out of disadvantage, too, which is a rare occurrence because usually Mute is very quick to punish that.
Right. Backer going to do it, too. Yeah, he had no reason to be kind of like flailing around there. Like, you can play this as defensive as you need to versus MuteAce. But, oh my god, that could have been so, like, 50%.
He knows the danger that is involved with being on the ground while turnip is in hand against a Peach player this low. I will gladly take 2 turnip tosses on the platform that removes me from those down tilt strings.
No, literally. And then sometimes with a lot of characters, you actually want to get yourself intentionally a higher percent to avoid what could be much worse. He just go for the forward air, charges the up B. Very well done. Dakpo with an even healthier lead than game 1.
You know, we've been seeing more and more usages of barrels in some of these combos. Oh, that was so good.
Oh.
He dropped. He didn't go for the up air. Instead, just kept going. He got 61% out of that.
Yo, he is actually in the kitchen suddenly. Making banana splits. Man's going in. Banana cancels, but peanut cancels.
And there's no place like home, right? You got to be able to get the best meals back at your home. And currently, Dakpo is cooking right here in DFW once again. There's a good reason why he has made it all the way to this point, and why it should not just be written off that MuteAce will go ahead and walk right through.
Yeah. I'm still so impressed by the awareness to use the charge barrel instead of fair. It would have been a really good kill, but you know that one even stronger, even harder to DI. And now Dakpo, yeah, nice. He's making MuteAce seem like the edge is not safe, but it is small battlefield. The entire bottom is his room to go through. Welcome to choose either edge to recover.
Yeah, he's mixing it up well too, because even before that, he baited the idea of going under, and then he aims back up, and MuteAce already committed to center, so he got on ledge for free. And that's allowing him to get back off often, but still, even that back air right there. Turnip covering so many options. He's so lucky. And then he ends up dying anyways, but Mute had so much covered.
From a betting man, I give MuteAce 1 to 10 odds winning this match right here. Just for the sheer sake of when he feels like it, can make it even in like 2-3 seconds.
If I see a turnip in hand, my opinion changes so heavily. Well, actually, banana might happen here too, because you can re-grab that banana as long as it isn't on the second toss and get a nice combo string as well for Peach.
Yeah. Oh, that's what you want to do there, but he went the wrong direction. 149, essentially. Oh my God, that was almost.
That was almost 40 to 50 right there. He's very lucky that he didn't get knocked away, and he's out of the percent window for it to easily confirm down tilt to up smash.
Yeah, you know when MuteAce starts doing the head bobs, you know it's a dangerous time. But Dakpo evening up the set here in Dallas.
I like the commitment. Like, you think I will do it a third time? I'm absolutely going to do it a third time. I'm at 12%. I would gladly take this trade if it works out in that way. And even you look back to game 1, we mentioned it before, there was the SD, but that was pretty much the same way where it was very close, and that time was even more in the lead.
Yeah, didn't have to second guess it at all. And now stage choice, of course, goes to MuteAce. Probably going to choose something more flat. I hear Karma coming on. Great song choice.
Anytime anybody goes anywhere down the second route, you got to win from me. They went really quick into it, though. It's actually going to be back to small battlefield, so I feel comfortable about this. I think the main reason why we're not seeing that flat stage is just the fear factor of Diddy Kong plus Banana on that flat stage, and it essentially just cuts off wherever he places it.
I think we need to normalize this being like the go-to stage, right? It used to be PS2, and you know, it still is for a lot of people, but I hate PS2. This is way better, way more interaction. The ceilings are smaller. Timeouts almost never happen. It's just a hype stage.
Like, I love PS2, but I'm so tired of hearing the same music, and I would gladly go here all the time for the sake of more music. But you're right, you bring up a lot of good points, and I think a lot of people have been favoring it more because of that of late. PS2 gives so much more room to certain archetypes of characters who just disengage from neutral. This one does not give you nearly as much of that.
Nah, it makes the gameplay a lot more honest in some ways. And if Nintendo had put Karma as the default song for Small Battlefield, it would have been early Christmas, honestly.
Let's put Krish on, and again, pretty much, if you go down the second list, you got a fin out of me. 89% to 52, though. You know, I asked you last game about what Dakpo needed to hold the lead, and he did exactly that. If you're Mute going into this game after how defensive he was, what are you looking for this time?
I mean, so turnips and bananas are very different in their nature. The thing is with MuteAce, he can just stay and float in place under a platform, and he has the option obviously going towards him or away from him in mid-air. He has many more offensive movement in that spot than Diddy Kong does. So when Peach holds the lead, it's the intimidation of I can move anywhere. When Diddy Kong holds the lead, it's the intimidation of I have banana.
Yeah, and the presence of Mute on shield is also something that's so frightening, which I don't think he was able to do too much last game. This game, he's been playing right up against his range, not getting punished for it too much, and it feels like Mute is looking a lot more confident in the way he's actually approaching Diddy Kong. He's not just letting him pop, gun, cancel everywhere this time.
Yep. He's going to wait till he gets into the Mute zone. Release the strings. Dakpo has, that's the smart thing to do there is these monkey foot mix-ups.
Dropping in with, again, if you give Peach Banana, it's the same problem as when they have turnip in hand. If you're not respecting that one toss, the item toss back up onto the stage, you're going to get reverse nair.
Exactly.
I'm still in Brawlhalla mode over here, but at the moment, very much a bigger hill to climb here for Dakpo by comparison to the last game.
You guys can hear the Brawlhalla crowds going crazy in there. Okay, ooh! Okay, I like the idea of barrels, but it's the sour hit. He just can't seem to find MuteAce. Can't seem to find the stock. MuteAce drops the banana on Dakpo himself. Nair out his shield.
Mute is,
oh,
that's a double jump. Yeah,
And
you're
he's
supposed
dead.
to take the trade. You're not making that back. Just going right down to, he knew there's no reason to waste my time. Because the longer, even though it may not seem like much, but if you waste more time trying to recover there, that gives at least 2 turnip pulls for Mute.
It's like one of the last characters you want to have a passive and just sit around. As I was saying, okay, near that forward smash call out. So now it's Mute's game to win. Just has to get one more, good more strings, and hold the ground, hold the air in this case, right?
We're back at that window too, where as long as if Bayonetta is picked up, actually, like, I liked it. I liked that momentarily, and now the idea is gone. But he's out. At least he's out of that 0 to 60+ combo range that down tilt could have had. And now he's more willing to go in.
I think when Diddy's behind that Hail Mary option of like barrel into like that, that's what you want. Kind of like Nets going for PK Thunder 2, because it's like it's got some risk, but the payoff, of course, is an entire stock sometimes.
Yeah, a little bit of damage for massive reward. We're seeing them use that a lot more too, not just against Steve, but in general during your gameplay as a tech chase option to get a punish. But Dakpo does not have too many options left. That was clean. I hope we'll see if he closes it out from here.
There's still signs of life in Dakpo. Oh god, that's probably an up smash for
I think so too. Yeah, definitely wanted to run up, get that up smash, but ends up jumping in the air instead, giving Mute more opportunity. Wanted that roll read, but he's up a stock, so not getting that does not matter that much.
Someone once said monkey flip in midair is like playing rock, paper, scissors, and at the last second you can decide to change once you see your way opponent has.
Yeah, it is a stacked in their favor cheating RPS. The monkey flip being
one of the best moves in the game.
It's a command grab, mobility option, cancel for all that, but it's so good. Not enough to get him away that time. Mute making all the adjustments to go up 2-1. The floor is now back to Dakpo again to try to make the adjustments. I think the biggest thing is that he couldn't get Mute to stay grounded. We saw that stock in between where Mute was just floating in the air. Very similar to what was happening with Dakpo, where he was intentionally staying on the platform to, hey, throw a couple turnips at me. That means your combos are gone. Mute basically saying the same thing. Go ahead, throw it at me. But I'm going to take 6-ish% each time, and you're not going to get a big combo to get back in the game.
I feel like when you're playing Diddy Kong, the floor just has to be lava. So I like the idea of a counter pick here. Hollow Bastion is just 2 floors on top of each other, right?
And if you think about the list that was probably available, removing both Kalos and FD is most likely what's going to happen there from you. And I don't think you really want to take Peach to Town and City. So Hollow Bastion, that nice middle ground where you have that length to work with. You still got that one platform, but much more space to be able to find a couple more positions where Bayonetta can actually work.
Yeah, and you, of course, you also have that perfect height where you can fling the banana back and get starter combos for like almost no reason off that at very low percents.
Yeah, you still got those second place punishes that you're going to get right there into those dare combos from you. You say, go ahead, get down here. Please, come on, challenge me.
There is that one downside, which is Peach up air float cancel. Below that platform, you just need to get out of the way.
And so, just remembering too that that's a frame 2 jab. Even after they cross you up on shield, there's not many characters that can actually challenge Peach buttons in that position. So it's so easy to condition a shield grab at that point. I think MuteAce is going to take advantage next time.
Yep. There you go. And what's smart thing too is using Diddy's banana against him. That's almost a rule in every one of Diddy's matchups against him. And what Peach can do too is in the air defer when she throws it and then wait for just slight whiff. And even if you don't land it on the ground, it's still just another, like, you can use it just like turnip, right?
Yeah.
Hit it in the air, into a fair, into an air, wherever you want.
Yeah, Peach definitely in that category of can use banana better than you type characters. And you got to be very careful of. Speaking of extremely careful, I like how Mute realizes that that Nair's going to just take it out. That was an amazing movement fate that he had right there, too. And now that range is gone, HBox, so he can't get that down tilt to up smash as easy now.
That single hit up air, pretty much gluing Diddy's feet to that platform, leading into that perfectly spaced Nair. Can Mute hold on to this stock for a little while longer, though?
This is where the most frustrating point of fighting MuteAce shows up. There's a reason why Mute won last year. They went down into loser side from Lima, if I remember correctly, and then ended up slowing it down so much. After Dakpo got that game, Mute has said, all right, I am kind of fed up with that behavior, and I'm refusing to let you hit me. That dare almost caught it, though.
Would have been actually incredible if he hit it. You can see sensing Dakpo's frustration settling in here. He's like, how do I get in?
A question many people have been unable to answer over time, and Mute just carrying both of those. Kind of a message like, nothing you're doing is going to trip me up. Got to go for dash attack there. The down tilt sends a little bit too far away for that up smash. And I think the main kill option at this point, we're not near up tilt yet, but back here at ledge should do it.
Okay. Oh, pretty fair. I like that.
Works out. I mean, Diddy Kong, near that platform specifically, could get a 0 to 60-ish if Mute makes a mistake. So this is by no means a massive lead, as long as he's able to avoid a big combo. Which, again, for Mute, you'd be glad to take those straight hits rather than that big combo.
Man, one thing he has for sure, though, is like, do not leave that banana peel laying around. We'll do turnip into banana into my fist. Next thing you know, lights are out.
Lights are starting to close on this winner side bracket run for Dakpo. If he cannot find some more hits, monkey flip, like we said before, so damn good. Able to get himself back on, but that surprisingly, I did not expect that to kill. So now that's a whole stock up.
Some meaty eye right there. I think so.
I told myself I wouldn't make that joke up here at any point, but you dropped it now, so I get to cash one in later.
It's right there. Now Mute just needs to pick his spots a little well here. Oh, careful. Oh, no. That's kind of karma for that game one.
All right. Well, again, we said it before, we take those, and that could be an absolute change to mentality for Dakpo. But we'll see if it changes it.
Yeah, he found the banana, grabbed it in mid-air, 34 now to 0. Pretty still close. Oh!
Bad.
Oh!
Oh no! Oh, bad.
Oh!
Up. Frame trap down there too with the nair. Dakpo just lucky only that he only took that 79.
God, that was almost so good. But even still, a lot of percent on him. Next thing you know, he'll be at 100. He'll have some fight left in him.
Yeah, it looks like he's starting to line up a few more positions for these command throws. So with that monkey flip right there, let's see if he can get any more out of it. I did not even realize that was in the air.
He's throwing peanuts and bananas back at Dakpo. He must feel betrayal right now from his own character.
When your whole kit is being utilized better than you, it becomes very frustrating. That, of course, is just, you have to respect that. We said before, that jab on shield, it's going to allow pretty easy grabs with that flow cancel, and now Mute going to throw him right back off. I don't know how much else he's got left.
That's the winky face dot eyes and back here, and I believe that's going to do it, and that's it. MuteAce makes it to grand finals of DreamHack once again in Dallas.
Yeah, winners finals was a 3-0, all in favor of MuteAce. After, to be honest, if you think back to that game one again, if Dakpo doesn't have those SDs, we might have been looking at a 1-0 lead for Dakpo, leading into another incredible game, maybe a 2-0, but you know, hindsight's 20/20. You got to look back at the mistake, put it in your back pocket. It is what it is. Dakpo still has some more time to work with it, but Mute in the most comfortable seat in the house, you got to beat him twice now.
Oof.
It's going to be a difficult task to ask.
It's going to be very, very tough, but well-deserved by him. And now we're going to be hopping to the losers portion. Like I said, there's 4 players left, and incoming to the stage is MVD and Lima.
This one is going to be interesting because early on, when you looked at that matchup, you kind of saw Snake just kind of tearing it apart because everything that Bayo wanted to do was just getting checked by grenades and company.
Yeah.
Now with the routes that we've seen out of Lima, out of Bloom, and everyone else, it's actually become a huge problem for Snake trying to play this matchup. It's completely switched.
Between those 2 players, if either of them do a losers run all the way to Grands, who has a better shot at beating MuteAce? I think Lima.
Yeah. It's got to be Lima because not only these 2 play all the time, but in the, even last year, it ended up being those 2.
What was that Grands last year?
Yeah, and if I remember correctly, it was actually Lima who put Mute into losers and then lost in Grands on the reset because Mute said, okay, I'm not going to just rush in anymore. But Bayo is such a good anti-hero character. We just talked about how great how good you need to be as Diddy to shut that down. Snake is great at that too, but he's got to get through Bayonetta first. And then also the Diddy Kong, which he does have experience against, but Dakpo is playing on fire. I think if one of the 2 would happen, it would probably be Lima, but still a story to be told. Let's see if MVD maybe could do it. If you had to give it a shot, if you had to say what MVD would have to do to get to that point, what is this approach to each one of these upcoming matchups?
I still think that this is a very bizarre matchup because you do have witch time with Bayo, right?
Yep.
And Bayo can witch time grenades from any distance, and it becomes a strange situation of like if Snake is at way too high percent, witch time grenades from across the stage, walk over and forward smash him. But then again, you have MVD, who's one of the best Snake players in the world, able to find just amazing reads and traps, more specifically. Yeah. I've seen him kill a C4 more than I care, including on myself since the Brawl days. He just knows where to put it, and he gets a good read and knows how to pressure you to the point where if he's in your face, you're going to want to move, and that's when you get blown up.
He's one of the scariest people when it comes to if you think that you're like 20-ish% is fine, It's not, because he knows how to set up the shots, like you just said, into that forward smash trap and steal one really early away. He's done it many times before. So you're never really out of the game as MPD, and you got to give him a lot of respect for that. But I think because Lima is okay with being passive when necessary, it's going to be very difficult to line that up. But as you asked before, you shall receive. We're going to continue to play here and start things off here on Small Battlefield.
Yeah, the unsponsored Legends duking it out, trying to find glory here at DreamHack for a, I believe, $4,000 pot.
I believe it was 5.
5,000
yes.
for Ultimate. Wow, must be nice. $5,000 pot, and first place gets about 40%. So $2,000 for the winner of this tournament.
A lot of that nice chunk of change. A lot of this, of course, being Texas defenders going on right now. But Lima is no stranger to being in that final 3 position many times over. Also, the Bloom tag I just noticed right there.
Yeah, Bloom actually was playing today at a tournament called Icarus in, I believe, Italy. And Luto beat Bloom in grand finals, defending his European crown, or, sharing it with him, so to speak.
It's been a hard task to do it. Like, that dash attack was, all right, there's the H-Box DI, bro.
Wow. that
one was absolutely homie assisted the way he went out.
That's it. Him to give me a shout out on commentary,
I said, that's my one. That's my singular catch, and it happened so fast, too. But now for MPD, here's where the timer begins. You start throwing out a bunch of route control. You make sure you're stopping all of ABK, and that actually didn't even last that long.
You ever see that meme where, you see someone's iPod on shuffle, and it just shows you, it's post-hardcore, then classical, then country and hip-hop, all in a row. That's what the Ultimate something feels like. You got Karma, then you got a song as goofy as this.
It really is, actually. This is why I appreciate what TK was doing for a little while. I'm going to start going onto the stage before these start and just switching all of the random shuffle.
Just turn them off.
Just turn them off.
It's got to be something good there, too.
We've been listening to Animal Crossing music for so long, we kind of just became blind to it. But now we have options. We don't need to do this to ourselves anymore.
I just want to be some giant stick tournament. I wish Evo Game 5 reset would be environmental noises, something like that, or 75M.
Let's say it just goes electroplankton or something like that. It's no, that up tilt is absolutely one of the best options, of course, in this matchup. Not only on anti-airing ABK, but just being able to get that early KO without having to commit to finding that throw later, because Bayo is so evasive. You're not going to find that down throw up tilt as much in this matchup.
Right. It's a game of grenades, keeping your space, and this is how Snake plays the lead, right?
Yep.
You go into the Snake pit, or you live. It's your choice.
The spacing is key, too, on what you just said. Because if you're too close, witch time. But if you play just out of range enough and then commit to it, it's going to get hit by a grenade, and that's going to allow you to get repositioned to go for punish, like right there. But it was a little too low. MPD smartly now moving forward instead tried to get the C4, but Lima was lucky to get away from that.
All right. And he's doing what he does best, which is live a long time. I always said, I think if you had to take a net average of how long every character lives in every recorded set of every game ever, I think Snake players, by a significant margin, would live the longest. He's not the heaviest character, but the way he recovers, he can blow himself up. Even Kazuya is heavier, but Kazuya still has that kind of capability off the stage. Snake, with that Cypher, and these that kind of floating nature of his, can live so long. 190 and counting.
I mean, also, while we think about that too, you think back to Brawls, that dash attack will actually do it. That one was just straight up a KO, but that was 200 plus right there again. And if you think back to Brawl when C4 jumping was actually a lot easier to do, yeah, they were regularly living super long times, and that is not what Bayo wants, because Bayo wants to keep you right around that perfect window to get up tilt back air or to get some of those early combos. When you get that high up, every combo she does is going to send you way too far.
It will. And they won't show any mercy in either way, too. Now Lima probably has to decide, okay, well, small battle didn't work. Platforms were his. Ceilings went too small. My DI wasn't too great. Kind of a lot of mistakes in that game. Could run it back if he really wanted to. But I think a little more space would benefit him, I feel, the way he's playing.
Looks like we might. This is a risky decision, and you're going to choose it. Okay, so we're going to see Kalos. Now, this does help a little bit for Bayo and survivability. Wider blast zones. You don't have to worry so much about the traps on the platforms, but you're also opening up a flat stage, and even with that wall, Snake is now also living a lot longer. So I'm very curious as the original reason why, but then again, it kind of harkens back to what you just said. More space to try and get away. Let's see if that plays out here in game number 2.
Let's see. Yeah, Kalos, a lot more space. And an opportunity, too, to make Snake sort of forced to bounce stuff off the stage. Every recovery he does is far away, is going to cost him at least 34%.
Yeah. Very lucky that he has frame run grenade, too, because majority, like, with Snake's, like, body and the way his weight works, such easy combo food, but MVD knows the right windows where he needs to take those trades. It's going to be a slow start on a match like this. Like, I probably don't expect to see a stock taken away until at least a minute 20 seconds at minimum. But, you know, Lima pressuring pretty decently on his platform so far.
He is. Now, see, each of those bridge times, I always think there's going to be enough stun to get something. For some reason, it's only doing the minimal amount of stun.
Yeah, considering the fact that it's just using, oh, what a great frame trap right there. F tilts into back air onto platform, chasing with ABK, not enough to break it, but HBox still chasing. One witch twist, if that connected, probably would have just ended up being the KO, because I don't know if C4 jump is going to work here.
These recoveries, MVD still alive, 153, and oh my god, the wall cling, 170, I'm telling you.
I got really worried because every Bayonetta has a contractual obligation to SD at least once in a set, and Lima makes sure to cash in that all the time. I definitely thought it was going to happen there, but instead it's going to be the back here that gives him the lead first.
There usually is that tax, as we've known. MVD has the deficit of losing here. Then Bloom, I'm sorry, not Bloom, Lima, so that's tag. Oh my god! And there's that C4 he's so good at using. Perfect timing into it on that back throw.
I like the way he set it up too, because he was crawling and kind of making it look like, hey, pay attention over here really well. And Lima got walked right into that back throw. Could have been a lot more damage that Lima got on early, but smartly for MVD right there too, not letting go of shield. That grenade bounced up right to that platform. Lima's going to get a massive combo.
Yeah, he wasn't going to show any fear on it either. And there's the stun he wanted. Lima now starting. Could have probably done a witch twist on the side. Back to neutral, avoid the C4 that time.
Smartly ABKing back down. Do not try to fight Snake on a platform like that. If your defensive options are gone, you're asking for trouble. And he's dodging a lot more of these C4s all of a sudden.
Okay. Oh, the scuffle at the top. Gotta be careful right there. Both characters have really, really scary potential near the blast zone. Of course, Snake being one of the strongest in big hitbox back airs, and Bayo being those strings of people death.
Yeah, back air and up air from Snake will make you regret every decision you've made up at the top of the screen. Oh wow, he actually will do it. Oh my goodness, I thought on Kalos that Snake might live that up tilt back here, but instead, Lima gets the lead again.
As perfect of a spot dodge as you could ask for to avoid that Snake up tilt. And he gets hit with a C4. Probably was locked into that down tilt animation.
A little bit of flowchart behavior right there, because he was looking for a combo starter that was nowhere near to be found. He was on the other side. He was being so evasive before, but now MVD, he has him on last stock, and honestly, Snake on last stock is one of the most frustrating characters to fight, because he's more than willing to trade with you the entire time.
And trade on grenades. Look at the weight differential of the two characters. What more could you want if you are a Snake player right here against Bayonetta? That's the name of the game. Take the hits, or just get another C4.
Exactly that. Not paying attention whatsoever.
Oh!
He just got out of that witch time animation perfectly, and MVD moves himself up in the second round. You can see hitting just under the words to one more.
And MVD actually, he lost relatively early in bracket to a Game & Watch player. I forget his tag. Doofus. And then had to go to lose kind of early, but to be all the way back here again, smiling and up 2-0 against Lima, it's good resilience. Very, very good.
Like we said before, if you got a game, you got a chance. Doesn't matter whether it's on the winner side or the loser side. You get sent down there there's actually, I think the original statistic of EVO is it has historically been more often than not the person on the loser side of Grand Finals tends to win the whole event. If you get sound on the losers, you get warmed up, you get ready to go. Still got plenty of time to do it.
The catapult effect is very, very real. You're warmed up, you understand, you got nothing to lose, and of course, Lima's the higher ranked player here, so MVD has stuff to prove, Lima has something to lose, right?
Yeah, and MVD is proving that indeed. You can see all the smiles, like he is very happy right now. Sometimes has been known for kind of wearing it all on his sleeve with the body language, because frustrations do happen in this game. There's plenty, it's 80 plus characters and they all somehow have a way to win. That's not common at all, so fighting through that is very difficult, but Lima, this is, like, I've seen Lima pause before, but this is rare. Like, deep in thought, trying to figure out what to do. You're currently down. Floor is yours again. And also, the question to you, I asked you before, what are you aiming for here as Lima to try and get the dub?
I think you're just trying to remember last time you played MVD, what was that really got me there, right? The Lima that I know that wins tournaments when he gets a single opening string off stage, you're usually dead or you're taking like 80%, right?
I agree with that heavily.
And I don't think any of these strings have done either of those in sets so far.
It's been like maybe, like even right there, he's getting 1 hit or 2, and the most I'm seeing is like maybe 30% just on average. That is way low, but this could be an early snipe right here. Goes for another one. The grenade's in the way. He tries to go and chase it again. He got the reset.
Going. Okay, see, that's be more. There's 100%, as we said. That's the power of Bayonetta in the right hand. And Lima, being the best Bayo player, NA is what you want to show with these combos. See? Complete night and day difference from that first game.
I was going to say that was utter domination first stock, and then Lima just walked right over a C4. So it was like, I don't know if I can compliment you after that, but that's exactly what we needed to see. You got to get your reward on hit. If you're not racking up that much as Bayo, you are leaving so much free damage on the table that you have to navigate all these grenades to get.
Like having a Ferrari and driving it around your neighborhood. You got to make sure that character sings.
That's somebody who cares. It's like, I do not want to get this scuffed. I do not want to drive this into a wall. I don't want nobody spitting on it, nothing. But you got to show it off to everyone else. And Lima is at least starting to get a little bit more confidence in driving it around.
Yep. Still holding on to his first stock, using that full room. I like that sort of breather that he took before the game actually started. Like, that is what he wanted.
He wants to keep this going right here, but currently, Diddy up 2-0, and he's going to finally find that C4 he's been looking for. So Lima was able to put 62% on the board, but as we mentioned earlier, Snake, especially on Kalos, you're not seeing that average kill until about 160-ish, unless you get that perfect window on tilt bear, so you got to be very careful here.
Okay, 74 on MVD. Don't let him, that's what I mean. I think right there, you can't let Snake live, you know? It's hard to notice a wall, but Bayo's one of the two characters that can really fully hurt the situation.
I think can't let Snake live is one of the greatest, easier said than done in this game because you have to get rid of him, right? But the difficulty of getting in on him, that was good because grenade was right in the way, and Lima, instead of trying to run up to punish the witch twist, went around it to get that damage. So Lima's, at least the awareness is starting to pick up here.
I mean, that's the thing, though, with Snake and Bayo, right? Okay, that was super important because if Bayo got to 90% and he left Snake at 150 with that rage, up tilt kills and then the game's even. But no, Lima's saying, not today. I'll get rid of that stock. I'm going to go out there a little more, be a little more brave, as like I was saying. And here comes another combo starter. To the top we go. Even avoids the grenade. C4 on the floor. MBD kind of fishing here a little too much. Nikita going to whiff too. Meanwhile, Lima happy to stay on the ledge, avoiding every grenade that MBD throws, instead letting the air be Lima's tool, and that back air.
So close to closing it out, getting chased all the way underneath the stage for the wall touch, and instead he got an air dodge. There it is, like you said, bullying off stage. Is the Lima that wins championships exists there the entire time, and most importantly, the amount of damage he was putting on, that seems like Lima woke up a bit.
It really is remembering who you are. Just like, oh yeah, I am that guy.
Oh yeah, I'm him.
I'm him.
Himothy.
I am the NA Bayonetta. People fear my character for this reason. Even in Ultimate, nowhere near the demon that she was in Smash 4, but in the right hands, these combos still do exist.
Yeah, we have definitely gone from the early days where Bayo did struggle to kill. They got the jab buff and everything, but they started figuring out a ton. They had to work a little harder to get it done, but they're figuring it out. It's nice to see that they have made it this far. And MPD has a lot of experience against that, of course. Even with that 2-0 lead, Lima waking up like that, it's going to get a little bit more difficult all of a sudden.
And we not forget, but this is losers, guys. Yep. Lima has one game left to lose, and then he is out of the tournament. He can stay alive. It takes 2 straight against MVD.
Counter pick advantage, of course, does belong to MVD for the remainder of the set, so he's able to bring it back to small battlefield. I don't think we'll be seeing Kalos again, but what he might be seeing is the blast zone momentarily. Oh. That Cypher is the only reason why he was able to get by.
Okay, clearly Lima must have heard me or something, because these are the strings I want to see now. Snake not just on the ground for a week at a time.
It's been a very long time since he's been able to grace some grass on the bottom. That should be up to Bear right there. And Lima is not only in the lead, but pretty comfortably in the lead.
Yeah, he is now awake, remembering exactly what he needs to kill Snake at any percent really of his choosing.
And smartly too, he was rushing it enough before, but he's picking and choosing his moments to strike better now. For MBD, this is bad. You might take some free damage here. Luckily for him, nothing really came of that.
Cypher with the most important hitbox in his recovery. Imagine Cypher having a hitbox. Could it be so different?
If without it, that would be so bad. His recovery would actually kind of be pretty bad.
Drop him down 15 spots on the tier list.
This is scary. Like, I think like Lima is hunting for another one of those 80% hit strings, but I almost feel like he's trying to force MVD to walk over to ledge so he can sneak one out early while he's still got this range.
Yeah, that's really is who's going to up tilt first.
Multiple grenades away. He Mortar just barely missed punishing, but the rising back air.
Hitbox takes so long.
That was not what I expected as recovery option whatsoever. MVD can get aggressive sometimes. We saw a forward air earlier, but it kept him alive a little bit longer, and look at this damage starting to pile on again.
Yeah, lingering hitboxes for moves are so clutch to use in the right way. Like, if your character has a lingering hitbox and you don't really use it so often, I feel like you're wasting a lot of potential.
Yeah, it creates a lot of really good conditioning options too. That's a kill though. That's guaranteed at that point. So MVD finally strikes back. The damage is done. That's
what in the world? I think the grenade got in the way or something. That should have been a kill.
Grenade in the way, or he just on a perfect frame was able to snap to that ledge. Because otherwise, that was a free spike.
Or a bit flip, maybe a solar ray.
Maybe.
You never know.
Something flanked to slow it down. He's very lucky that happened because we would be looking at a different game. But also speaking of looking at a different game, that lead that he had before has diminished greatly.
Yep. Which the air dodge, of course, not so well back air. And oh my god, he always snaps the ledge just a frame early, and then Lima has a chance to catch it. Grenade C4, avoiding all but one back air.
Lima's starting to finally recognize, oh, what in the hell just happened? Oh my god, somehow not dead off of that forward air coming back on the way back down. And MVD looking for that very quick down air, but the back air will just do it.
It was lingering and that strong. You just gotta spam that at some point. Use it until it hits. And now look at him. He said, now you come to me. 174. I'm telling you these percents go higher and higher with this character. You got to kill him with a full read. Right now, everybody's happy to stay in shield. Let the grenades rack you up, and so you're a percent that's worth looking.
Again, he's lucky that that's exactly what happened, because every single one of those grenades would have been a worthwhile trade for MVD to get you that much closer to around 80-ish before he died.
No way! No way! No way! No way!
That hitbox is massive, and he timed it on the neutral getup with the forward smash. Lima just got obliterated as he was getting up there. MVD takes it 3-1.
I saw him doing that. I didn't realize that rocket launcher goes that far. That's an amazing trap if you're not aware of it. And Lima just fell for it.
I know it's a massive hitbox, and I know it hurts, but I have never seen anyone do it from there to get the KO.
Usually when I see him trying that, I always go bazooka as a commentator, but I'm like, that's not going to hit. There's no, what? It just connected. Damn.
That's an unfortunate factor of Bayonetta being like 7 foot tall, walking right up into that. That now eliminates Lima from a potential rematch of DreamHack Dallas Championships. Instead, it's going to remove Lima from the back here at 4th place.
Well, there you go. And MVD has a chance here. He goes up against Dakpo, a player he's played many times, of course, in Texas, and might be the one who does the God run all the way. We have to look at the bracket I wish start to. I want to see exactly how many sets in a row he's won since that upset yesterday against Doofus. He's just going through it. 3-1 on Kid, 3-1 on Johny, 3-1 on Lima. He's a 3-1 machine, and now he fights Dakpo in the finals.
You actually just reminded me, too, that they might be fighting each other a ton in Vegas as well, because MVD is also over in Vegas with both of them being there. So this could be an extremely common matchup we're seeing nowadays. Outside of when Sonics goes over there and says, "Hey, I gotta get some money for some things in the casino, bro. So I'm gonna need y'all to move out the way." But this is going to be an absolute fire set, because, like you said, with all that history, you get what you call the roommate reads. You know exactly what you need to do in the matchup, but now you're looking a lot more for those player tendencies from fighting each other often.
Match experience is one thing, player experience, whole different story. And if both these players, I guess, are living in Vegas, that means Grand's guaranteed will be a Texas-Vegas showdown. We'll see which one of these members of the desert is more worthy.
We'll find out, because it's going to be hot. Let's see how this goes. Again, MVD on fire, quite literally, after lighting up Lima a second ago from that 4th. I still can't believe that hit and it killed. But actually, I can believe it killed. But that was insane. After Lima was really picking up a ton, too. But, I mean, we saw what Dakpo did earlier. Outside of like what happened with the SDs and such, Dakpo was playing phenomenally the entire set. So he's been running hot too, sitting here in that top 3 finish.
And one thing that's not really too talked about is the fact that in Smash 4, MVD main Diddy Kong.
Yep.
And there is some level of familiarity when you're fighting against your old main, even in a new game like Ultimate. Like, there's differences, but I think the base fundamental character kind of remain the same.
Yeah.
So he knows exactly what Diddy Kong wants in a lot of ways.
I 100% agree with that because even though the kits may be different, the fundamentals of them are still the same.
Yeah.
And you're going to know how that carries over. And MVD, no slouch to that. He's played a lot of the matchup in the past, too. Shouts to whoever 4Davey007 is from Dakpo. We got the first game. Guaranteed podium finish here for these two players, but one of them is going to have to stand at the bottom of it after this set. We got losers finals here at DreamHack Dallas.
Yep, I believe the payouts to 5 was something like $2 grand, $1 grand, and maybe like $500 or $750. So money's getting exponential here, and you win this, you're guaranteed $1,000.
And difference going out to get some steak tonight, or maybe holding on to it for a little bit longer. But
you know, I'm gonna have steak tonight. That's tradition.
Actually, it is tradition for Sunday. I might go get some steak. And also, I do like the fact that Dakpo at the very beginning said, "You want to throw out some explosives? That's cool. I'm gonna rock the barrel right at you." Kind of just saying, I have no fear here, by the way.
Pretty great start from Dakpo here, showing intimidation and not letting him really breathe at all.
The evil in my soul wanted Dakpo to go for a monkey flip there so badly.
I wish.
It wouldn't have worked because he already cyphered, but I really wish it would have worked.
Yeah. After watching Spider-Verse last night, I just like, I just go for it.
Cannot wait to get back home and watch that because all I'm seeing is
bro.
people talk about it being the best Spider-Man film. I cannot wait to go see that.
Might be the best film of the year.
That's actually insane.
So
Considering
good.
how many, but that up air minimizing to actually none, 0% going into the second stock.
Very cinematic up there, if you will. He's actually, my God, both players, they're not really too afraid. You'd see more reservation from both. They're kind of just slugging at each other, going straight in.
Also, matchup familiarity there too. MVD knowing I'd rather air dodge in the stage and take a hit than air dodge down towards the side of the stage and try and snap ledge, because that air dodge could be punished by a down air and you just die to that Diddy Kong there because it's so strong. So MVD knows where he needs to take a hit in this matchup. That he wanted the spot dodge. He wanted real bad to mix Dakpo there.
Oh, the C4 passive, it always gets him. It makes me wonder if that forward smash bazooka works on this stage too, for get up, or if Diddy Kong is too short.
It might, depending on how far over it is. But yeah, again, Bayo being so tall, maybe Diddy Kong low profiles it a little bit, but hopefully Dakpo doesn't have to try and figure that out throughout this set.
Exactly. Okay.
Oh, he's right on top of C4, and I think MVD wanted better positioning for if he wanted to go C4 into a follow-up up air. Great anti-air call there from Dakpo. He has not been shy of using up smash. He has a straight-up anti-air.
Right. Here comes Nikita again. Last stock, but of course, they got low percent, much more comfortable. Grenade after grenade, he's waiting for the trades. Yeah, he's fine. He can take grenade trades until 90.
Listen, every single bit is perfectly fine for him. You want to box with me, that's cool. We're both going up together. And that is just you going up by yourself. I didn't even realize he put it over there. That's going to be MVD striking first.
On that top platform. Damn. MVD on the collision course to Grands, man.
He's tearing through everyone. And this is also with Dakpo, who, if I remember correctly, I believe Dakpo is the one who put Lima into losers yesterday, which is already a huge dub to begin with, because Bayo is actually really good against Diddy Kong. And as good as Dakpo looked in winners finals against MuteAce, he is struggling a little bit here to find these openings against MVD.
But I'm trying to think, I feel that he will, because when I saw him play against Lima, like the signs of life were, I'm sorry, not against MuteAce, the signs of life definitely there. Had that amazing game 1 performance in SD at the very end. Still fired back game 2. You know, he's able to push top players no matter how they're playing or how scary they seem.
Like you said, a pioneer of the Diddy Kong tech, the originator of the pyramid scheme himself.
Yep.
So let's see what happens here, game number 2. First visit for us on over to Town and City.
Definitely in the building. Okay.
If that grenade was not there, he was getting about 60.
Yes,
maybe
70.
maybe more. You might actually be more on the money with that.
We both saw it coming, but it's actually MVD taking 70% right here. And again, monkey flip canceling because he flipped into his own banana.
Bro, MVD is getting sauced right now. He cannot touch the ground.
Hey, you forget, Snake has 6 lives.
That is true. That is true. This 129 is just the start of the stock. Now you got to actually try to close it out.
Now he's like, all right. Oh! What's with these charges today?
Bro, that is like a size 20 boot. How did you reach him all the way over there? MVD stealing away that first one when he was getting juggled for so long.
Oh my God. Okay, answering right back. This is a very, very explosive set. seeing the grenades launch off, but seeing also the burst options out of these players.
It's wasting no time. They've been super aggressive, and good job for Dakpo not being afraid to go out there and try and get that back air immediately, but he is taking so much. If that they're connected, that would have been so much worse. Luckily, he only took a jab.
Yeah, that's going by very fast with this much aggression.
I gotta say, even though this is a very even game, looking at the fact that Dakpo is actually doing that more often, he's not gotten too successful. The reverse popcorn cancels into the monkey flip. So he's definitely starting to pick it up on his confidence and movement. And the chase from that far away on the tech chase with the up B is insane.
And monkey flip just enough time to avoid it, pick up his own banana. No, can leave it there. Ledge trap. The platform comes out, tries to read him, gets socked on the fair, can get the kill. To get the edge guard.
Here on Town City 2, the up air, and that won't be enough to catch him. The old hoo-ha attempt, but dash attack will not land it either.
We'll just see it barrel through it again. Gonna be the weak hit. C4 avoiding.
154 up till I think maybe doesn't on that platform. He would have gotten it, but he dodges away, trying to go for back throw instead.
Their up tilt will kill each other at this percent. And or up air, there you go. Dakpo takes a mid-set lead. Wants to play around this.
Yeah, why?
I
Okay, look, I love analysis. I love breaking live things down, right? All I have to say is why, bro.
This is the third time he has to do this tournament.
You got one. You got one for free. That was a very last-second up air that led to that combo. That's actually a nice freeform. So maybe let's see if we can pick it up, but taking a lot of damage.
God, and the trap putting down, making sure the floor is not set in any case. Shield with grenade. That banana in hand. How is he going to use it? Nikita comes out, flips again.
Trying to get him to make a mistake. Reads it in, but that tilt being faster than his punish.
Reverse the approach. And the C4. He can only take one more of those, or else we're going to game 3. Nikita again.
What attack underneath there for the Nikita as well, but it was not enough. He tried to snap the ledge. The fact that MVD always had a backup option. Every time you thought you could punish him, whether it was grenade or that up smash mortar where he tried to go for the throw, he had himself covered. That ended up leading to him off stage once again. And Dakpo kind of suffering here a little bit to try and seal the deal out against MVD. But MVD is he is having a blast up there. He is smiling, he's having a good time. And confident MVD is one of the most dangerous players to play, especially while he's making this run from losers.
This is it. I mean, he went straight from a 3-1 Lima into just 2 really quick games on Dakpo. This is the MVD, kind of the style I saw him play when he won. He famously won the Smash World Tour, I believe, Eastern qualifier, and it was just very out of nowhere. It was like the 10th seeded player just ended up beating all these other top ones.
I actually gotta remember that too. It's like, oh, y'all forgot about me. I said, y'all forgot about me. That's crazy. I still got it. That is, if he jumped, it's Talon City, so he probably wouldn't have died. But I expected maybe a forward air reset or a nair in that position. Doesn't matter though. MVD, it feels like MVD's starting to not only feel himself a bit with his combo strings, but just not fearful at all about Dakpo's movement.
Right. There's the up smash again, but I feel like another huge reason it doesn't work is because Snake is so heavy that up smash only dies, I think, from Diddy like 120 plus, 130 plus.
And this is on Town and City too, so it's going to take even longer. Floor to you again. You know, we're looking at a 2-0 deficit here. You're in this position. You're playing Diddy Kong. You're trying to handle this Snake. What are you aiming for to try and get it? So not only do you get back in after that up smash, but what else do you need to do to keep the lead?
Hold on to this, right? Use that space around it, but I feel like there's almost no point. Like, your stock's gonna fly at some point either way. Snake has projectiles closer than Nikita. Actually, this is really good aggression right now.
Wow, he might get a 0 to death out of it. It's like, this is a very high likelihood that he closes this out. He goes for the forward air. Does he finish it with a down air on his way back in? Trying to get it. He just barely missed on the C4 jump.
God. Up till call out, he needed that one.
That covered so much after the commitment to monkey flip too, because if you try to B-reverse the banana toss to go back, you get hit by C4. If you decide to commit, you get hit by up tilt. That was essentially checkmate after you already pressed it.
It was.
134% to 34, trying to dip underneath the stage, looking for that down air follow-up, but now banana in hand. I do not want to see a banana in hand in front of Snake on Town and City, where I have to potentially guess if he's going to forward smash me and I die at 50.
All right, hoo-ha there, still not going to connect.
Definitely looks like Dakpo's woken up a ton. Gets that back air, and that's going to keep that lead going in his favor.
Now to the MVD to see how he can utilize some grenades. Gotta get Diddy Kong to kill percent.
I like the chase too. He is not playing scared anymore. I think that was a lot of what happened the last couple games. He tried to get openings, but he played too afraid. Probably wanted to air dodge, grab the grenade on its way back down from that Z-drop there, but dude, look at how often he's reading these jumps now.
Smothering him. That's the best way I could put it. He just stopped staying back and saying, I'm not going to give you time for grenades out.
Like, well, yeah, that's right. I'm playing Diddy Kong. I got that movement speed. I have that coverage. And I have potentially what could be my first game of the set here at 2-1. This is up a whole stock. And it does not look like anytime soon that he plans to give that up.
Yeah, it's has to be game 4 unless something horrible happens. Something just mind-bendingly horrible.
Considering how things have happened so far, that is still an option on the table. So Dakpo's got to be very careful about his recovery routes. He's already had a couple mistakes happen in that before. Hopefully we don't see something like that happen again. I'd rather see the W just go straight out in a normal fashion.
Right. But when the game is last stock, it's really up to the script right at that point.
Yep.
Not there yet. Still has healthy lead. Unless, of course, this Nikita hits.
He's got to take a good, that was a good route. He had a little bit of time to get the charges. He was able to mix it up. Got to cover neutral get up instead, but Dakpo refusing.
He stuck him. Didn't he?
Oh, he did! He did! I didn't even realize he got him and all that. Your eyes are on fire right now because that's crept right through.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Don't forward it.
Not like this, Dakpo.
Yo, this can happen. Oh, that was...
Not like this.
If he did not air dodge back onto that platform, no, dude,
No.
Dude, no shot. No shot.
Yes, shot.
No shot, bro.
This is Snake McCloud. He can do it.
All right, the game helping him out a bit, dragging the C4 off with that platform, actually making it a little bit more difficult.
Oh, no.
He's at kill,
No.
He's at kill percent.
Yep.
He's at kill percent.
No.
Oh my god.
He can't keep getting. Wait, it's not done yet.
Oh,
no.
It's right there.
Oh. I feel like this up till it's coming.
It's absolutely on its way. One mistake, and that is it. This is a 3-0 for MVD. If the Dakpo does not close this out, he's at 182, and this is actually worse. And he forgets where it's at. MVD does it again. He was so far behind. But MVD continuing this insane losers run that he's been on, and he takes a 3-0.
Wow. I mean, just playing as on point as you can ask for, Ajax. This is a man with a plan, and MVD in Grand Finals at a $5,000 prize pool tourney. It's a good place to be.
The man said, I am not finished yet. I got one more in me. He's got Grand Finals right around the corner. Can he finish the job is a question to be asked because he's got to do a MuteAce first.
Yep.
But the fact that he dealt with Dakpo has been on an incredible run all weekend. He got through Lima, which is a matchup that we have been going back and forth on how good it is or not. But he's been outplaying them on how they've been approaching against two movement-heavy characters.
It has been, and what better boss than MuteAce, right?
Yeah.
Final boss MuteAce knows this matchup so well against Snake, and we saw his matches against Apollo Kage, how those went too. I mean, but this is some of the best I've seen MVD play. I think it'll go to 5 games.
I think at minimum, I think we get the 5 games for free reset. I don't know if we get the reset or not, but honestly, the way MVD's playing, it's kind of hard not to bet on that.
You could, for some reason, like it's like that weird, bizarre situation where it's a 6-0 MVD wins.
If he 6-0s,
Could you imagine?
If he 6-0s Mute, holy shit.
He's so bad. Like, we saw that comeback from last game. Dakpo, it was 2 stock 20% to MVD 1 stock 130.
Yeah.
And he won.
It could happen. It absolutely could happen. I mean, Mute definitely on, trying to get a little bit of a rebound victory after what happened with Gateway. Got knocked out a little bit early and wasn't able to get all the way there. And shout outs to Louis Money for taking the whole thing. But Mute, that's the one thing that happens to MuteAce because MuteAce is so incredibly good, but sometimes has a bit of inconsistencies when it comes to the overall records that he's able to put out. When, I know we said it before, we got it bears repeating. When on point, when MuteAce is operating at full capacity, arguable best neutral in the entire game over some of the other contenders for best in the world. So we'll see if Mute is feeling that way going into this set, because I know Snake versus Peach is not a fun time.
Yeah, I'm looking up right now. I'm trying to see exactly how many sets MVD has won through losers at this point. It's getting pretty damn impressive.
Yeah, that after getting knocked down there beforehand by the Game & Watch, we said before, Doofus was playing phenomenal throughout the weekend. Ended up going right through the Ridley, which I believe was Caden. Shout outs again, incredible run from them. But everyone else in the way, move out the way. It's pretty much how it's been for MVD.
It might be the Jesse show in this case. So again, everyone, thank you for watching. This is DreamHack Dallas, the ultimate portion, $5,000 prize pool, a lot of Texas best players.
We're down now to 2 players in the bracket. This is the final set, potentially the final of 2 sets if MVD gets the first 3-0.
Yeah, do we see that defense of Texas and also a back-to-back DreamHack Dallas champion, or do we see Vegas come in and steal up their money once again? Go ahead and place your bets now because it's going to be. I don't think that I kind of don't think we don't get the reset. Like the way MVD's playing right now, it's kind of difficult to bet against him at least for one.
11-1, by the way.
Lifetime?
No. His run today.
Oh my God.
MVD
Okay.
is 11-1 going through losers.
Well,
Marathon.
he's I said the losers took it personal. He's feeling some type of way about being down there right now. But now in a guaranteed top 2 finish, one more person in the way, but it's the most difficult task. The #1 seed overall in the tournament, like we said again, the DreamHack Dallas reigning champ here from last year, trying to make sure that that trophy once again goes home.
And this is going to be it. Imagine being like a schoolyard bully or like being bullied and you have to punch 11 other people just to get through. 11 souls, you know? 11 weekends he ruined.
MVD just walking through and just squaring up.
Oh my God.
Oh man, well we'll see what happens right now. Reclaimer of that prize indeed. Let's see if MuteAce is able to take it. Hopefully MVD doesn't go over there and just punch you in the face. We'll find out in a second.
Might have to.
Now, you know, a lot of hypotheticals can all go out, and we'll, you know, I've had a couple. What is your opinion on how this is gonna go? How you think with the way MuteAce's been playing, or you showing the way MVD's been playing?
And we move towards Game 1, going to be on PS2 Classic. A big statement to make for both of these players. Mute with the comfort of Grands and a full set to play with, and MVD with the comfort of his hands being warmer than the core of the sun at this point.
That's very true. We actually made our way back to PS2 as well, which we were kind of away from for a good while. This does benefit Snake in terms of being able to reset neutral a ton against each without having to worry about reading flow as much. That said, though, I think player specifically, Mute is perfectly content with having more space because that means that he gets to take more time before he decides to go in, and that's a problem for everyone.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't really need to change the game plan too much as what he's done so far. It's just the same idea, right? Keep that space between the platform and the floor yours. Let Snake approach you and try not to let the bomb intimidate you too much.
Yeah, like you said, after that first stock is gone with the lead for Peach, before it does indeed become lava, you don't really try to go down there too much. You try to bait Snake to approach you more often than not so you can get the damage in. C4 was right there, but MVD decided to go up and try and challenge. Instead, it's going to be the Peach Bomber that takes it.
Right, has a dot eyes in hand at 0%. Could be a massive combo. He has to fall to the full first. Nikita bracing the dot eyes to victory.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of damage that could be inbound there if that dot ice connects, but that nair won't be enough yet. But that kind of sent the message. Yeah, right
I
on
knew
the
it was
money.
coming. It was like, of course, in that blast zone, no room for safety.
After that dodge last time, it's like, I'm not curving it this time, and we're going right for it.
Okay. And this time, instead of throwing peanuts, he just throwing grenades.
So imagine if that connected. I think I'm sure Mute is absolutely one of the type of people who would lab out a maximum damage combo after crossing back the grenade as well.
Oh yeah. This is how you know this is a children's fighting game, not real life. Imagine having 18 grenades blow up on you and you're still alive.
And also,
in real life, that would not happen.
In actual fact, that a vegetable is greater than all of your explosives.
Yeah, it would take one grenade to kill you. And at least 400 turnovers.
Yeah, at least 4. Maybe you choked it. Maybe if you choked on it, but we'll see. I don't think I don't think Mute is planning to choke the set. But however, the damage is going up for Mute at the moment. MuteAce, MVD finding a lot more straight hits.
Up till kill percent, I believe. Or C4 for sure kill percent. Look at that. This is MVD in that warm state. Super aware, safe, reserved, focus, racking on hit after hit.
Yeah, very much in the driver's seat right now, not really relinquishing this lead, and if he has to, it's going to be through a lot of hits, and that, he's boxing now, too. He actually pulled back a little bit on throwing more grenades and got 2 straight hits, essentially put him up to 59%.
It'll be actually crazy. He holds it up once more. Upside almost getting it.
You having a hard time tracking down his recovery round too, which is normally not the case. But MVD's got to be feeling good about that. Up air still won't be enough, like you said. Average life, man.
Might actually win.
I would not be surprised to see MVD go plus like 180 here too. I think the only kill option he's probably going to have is be off the side. Out of that, like dash attack is very easily stopped by grenade, and Nard and Mute is at up tilt kill percentages.
Stuck him.
That is basically a command grab in and of itself. If you hold shield too long on that platform or you're too defensive there, you can get that free C4 stick. And good defense again, but look at that lead that he's already climbed. One mistake and Mute is lost game number 1.
You have to hold on a little more. My God, the fair not killing.
Good option. All the other options that could have been so much safer, he just drops in and drops the whole heal on top of Mute's head. Say, wake up a bit, come over here, try to fight me, but that's 174. Again, dash attack. It's not that viable because grenade will always stop it.
Yeah, this is, Mute wins this is the GOAT. I just don't see it. He's done it many times before, but I do not see this time.
Okay. Got 4 turnip pulls, and he's got a winky face. That does increase overall knockback, and he has rage. He has to find a combo. That's legitimately the one way that he just steals this. However,
what?
You might have to call him the GOAT. Might be the greatest all time. It's starting to happen right now. 61% already on the board from you.
At least the greatest Latin player of all time. Avoid the C4 there. Grenade 175.
This is becoming increasingly more a possibility. MVD trying to find one straight hit that'll work, but not trying to overcommit. Corner comes through. Mute not dead yet.
Such a different set. Oh my God, Mute! Are you that person? Are
He's
you
gonna
him?
do it. He's gonna do
Oh!
it. MVD just needs the C4 or something. Dash attack won't be enough yet.
Brute ace! Oh! Oh! Jesse in the clutches of death stays calm and finds the down tilt.
The fact that he's as calm as he is at the end of that too, just looked over and said, run it back.
Yeah.
Run it back. Like, that was
He's just
so...
used to it.
Yeah, you have to be. You have to be used to being in those positions as Snake being that high up with the fact that Mute almost did it. That I'm not happy going into game number 2 after how close that got.
Hey man, 5 more games away from that 6-0.
I think, honestly, that game 1, yeah, we might be going to this. We might be seeing 10 games out of these 2.
It was very, very close. Each Snake, of course, won it the whole way. I don't see Lima, or I don't see MuteAce switching off.
No, we don't. I don't think there's anywhere we see that Palutena show up or anything like that. This is gonna be the Peach show all the way through. The key is, kind of turn on the lights and get the spotlight on you. You got to take over the stage and take over dominance to get that trophy again. And we're gonna start that off by switching away from PS2 and going back to small battlefield.
Yep, small battlefield. Middle's playing around with both characters.
I like
just the attack, the option he has out of shield with Snake. You wouldn't think it's that good, but he finds so many nairs and waits for every grenade pops.
Down here out of shield is so fast too. Like, there's so many great options to try and check that, but you fall asleep on it. Like you said, that like nair and everything, you feel like it lasts so much longer. This is a great amount of option coverage. He actually committed to that down here to look for the tech chase away, not even getting the C4 off.
Right. All right.
Very similar to that PS2 game we saw, just with a little bit less space to work with here. But yeah, we kind of talked about at the beginning, most of these stocks are going to average out like a minute plus before they go anywhere. Speaking of, and we just reached that 6-minute mark essentially with that up tilt.
Look at that. He's gotten the first stock in the past like 5 games of gameplay.
Get that stick on him too. I don't know. He did. Oh my God. The layers that he's establishing now too. Like, MVD has got good setups, and he's pulling out every single one of them in this set.
Yeah, it's becoming almost like a muscle memory of him to do like grenade, C4, turn around, block, repeat, platform move, shield, grenade. Right? It's just like the entire. But it's such a good flow start. You have no reason to not keep using it. And look at this. Is that Peach already at kill percent again?
Yeah,
Up tilt?
sitting here at 94%. That up tilt, especially now, will be enough to go ahead and take it out.
Wow, okay, that clank.
Peach is greater than explosives. Is what we're learning here.
Cake beat bomb.
Up tilt! My God!
Oh, he's going to have his cake and eat it too in a minute. The way he's playing, he's already up 2 whole stocks in the lead over MuteAce. You know, you said it. It's working that way. That Porter will finally do it, but MuteAce is struggling to get things started.
You know what a madman call 6-0 when you're making this, right?
That,
Against MuteAce?
like 6-0 free call that I would
I should
never.
have bet. I should have bet.
Yeah, hey, no. You're leaning into the right section right now. I was expecting maybe a reset, but not the way this is playing at the moment. That Nair is so much damage.
Oh my god. It's just that, like, Mute also can't start these combos because MBD always has a grenade there.
This is why the Peach players are able to pressure people so much, but one of their main win cons is being able to freely pressure shield. You can't do that in this matchup, and MVD is showing why.
Right. They're high. Back air. Last hold on to grab again. C4 nearly finishing it already.
I think that entirely had to do with the fact that that floaty nature of Peach gave a little bit more of a drift to get away from that. The next time, probably not so much. C4 is there on the left side platform too, so you got to be careful where you decide to land.
I thought I was going to fall for it.
I thought he was going to too.
Okay. Grenade on the right.
Until does it here. Pretty much any mistake from Mute, and we're looking at a 2-0 lead.
Okay. That's going to almost kill. Going to go high. Air dodge.
Oh
He's
my.
so good at that. And he has a grenade on the ledge too to give him that safe net. He's still alive. 169, and he does a boot to the face for good measure. MDD, one game away from a reset. The best I've seen him play in maybe years.
This has been, we've seen some really good play at MVD, but I agree, this is by far the best I've seen him play in quite some time. And such a good option there too, because just before that, Mute revealed that he wanted to look for that air dodge punish with Nair. So even if you don't go for it again, I'm going to cover it because I'm already up a whole stock. If you punish me, fine. But if not, most likely it'll be a trade, and MPT moves up 2-0 in the set, trying to force that reset here against MuteAce.
And I think they're going back to small battle, but I don't think it's the right play for MuteAce, honestly.
It definitely worked in favor of MVD, and of course you definitely don't want to go to places like a Smashville because it just cuts off so much room for you to work with. But I'm almost hard-pressed to say maybe you need to go to a flat stage, maybe you need to try and force a Kalos or something just to have more room to hide, but dude, I don't know if you're going to hide from anything MVD's doing right now.
Dude, 40 on that string, barely a scratch on him.
Almost at 56. Mute, the biggest thing for Mute is that you can't get grounded combos started. That's the main thing that Peach needs to get the damage out. You need those grounded combos into those grab resets to get at least your 340s to 60s. It's only been straight hits. You don't want a straight hit Snake all game.
What Snake wants to do all game is trade. My man's in the stock market.
The stocks are rising. Buy now on MVD stocks because they are going up.
My man's a day trader. Oh, I thought for a second. No way, he found it.
Buy. Now they're still going up.
That's 6 games in a row where he took the first stock.
Yes,
all I'm saying.
About to say that too. Like you mentioned it before, the very crucial information. MVD refuses to start the game without a lead. Yeah. That means he's playing so damn confident right now.
Let's just say when he starts the game with the lead, he pretty often ends with it.
Yeah, it's the whole trade factor too. He doesn't die to 160 plus, which means you're most likely going to be taking 60 just trying to get that hit in the first place.
Okay, yeah, went way too low there for his own good.
Was that like 158? Did he really go and die like right after I said 160 plus?
Like he's not gonna die anywhere near 100. It's always gonna be at least like 150. And that's the thing. It's the living power of this character.
He's for Mute. Look at him. He want like everybody's playing smart right now. Stay on the platform. Turnips in hand, I go nowhere near you because that's how you get your 40 to 60% and we're right back to even. Instead, he's baiting you to jump at him and he's getting so much free damage for it.
Okay, spot on a good place.
I had to give it up too because Grenade was there. And you know, I'll take that. Honestly, like you have to work so hard for a combo. 49% or 39% from that combo.
Yeah, pay the tax, you might as well.
Yeah.
More throws. It's one of the things that's like, yeah, sometimes I'd rather take the hit. Yeah. Sometimes it's worth paying a little bit for the better result. When I was young, you know, my parents were always like, no, we're not going to pay for parking. We're going to find somewhere around here and we're going to walk like a mile. But now that I'm older, I'm just like, no, I'd pay for parking.
No.
Valet, please.
Not going anywhere.
I'm too tired.
I will say, paying a little bit close attention to the way Mute played that last stock, I'm actually starting to feel a little bit more confident in the way Mute is approaching it. It seems like Mute is actually being way more careful and more precise about where he's going in. And this time, he's taking more damage now. That was all good prior to that moment.
Reset point. If MVD wins this, he'll be 12-1 set record after losing round 1 pools.
This is ridiculous. MVD refusing to let this lead go away, trying to get a 3-0 reset. Like you said, 12-1 all the way through the loser bracket at that point, and not even MuteAce has been enough to stop it as that 3-0 happens right now.
We're halfway to a 6-0, Ajax. My God.
I can't believe a reality of where you called a 6-0. It was like no shot, right?
It might be the hardest call of all time.
6-1 maybe at worst, but like that, it's not like those first 2 games for the most part were close, and that one got closer, but it still ended up with the 2 stock. Like MVD is just, this is the MVD we've always known could exist, but has been not as much of late. But this is prime gameplay MVD that looks like he might be holding that DreamHack Dallas championship.
And I honestly think he's just going to need, it's the first stock. He has to go out of the gate super aggro and in and find this early stock. But every time MVD gets his way, he holds on to a lead, the lead snowballs, and we've seen what happens each time.
Every single time has always been that first stock that you said. It is, the blueprint to success is right there, and nobody has had an alternative answer. It's the engineering toolkit. So duct tape, WD-40, MVD. And the answer is always MVD.
And he did the exact same thing to Lima moments ago too, so he could play against anyone in the world right now, I think, and give him a hell of a fight. Stage comes out, but wasn't able to use it. This might be his shot to get the first stock.
It might have to be outside forces at this point, RNGesus, to hopefully bless you with some bomba bombs or something to start getting back into this game. And it's crazy that we're even saying that about MuteAce of all people.
If I'm Mute, I'm gambling right here.
Betting it all. Currently, again, the only thing you should be betting on is the market rising and the prices going up for MVD. That Nair will finally come through though, and that's one of the few times we've seen MuteAce only take 34% to get that stock.
Right. That's so much damage. That Nair.
30% for losing an air day.
Is it 30 for all those?
It's like averages out like 24 to 30 or something like that. It's absurd.
That's tasteless. I can't believe that.
It's well done, and I don't want it. Right now, 78%.
That is a corrupt neutral air.
Criminal activity.
Oh, dude, he's in the zone.
I don't know.
Oh my God!
I truly don't know what the
What's
answer
he
is.
doing?
I don't know what the answer is at this point. MuteAce has to quite literally just go into a different level of gameplay at the moment. Does finally find a down air to get something started, but it's behind the whole stock.
Maybe a character switch, maybe the power or something? Maybe? I don't even
think that the Palu would be enough at this point if it was the switch to Palu. Like, there's a Bayo that exists in that toolkit somewhere too, but I don't think. Yeah, after what happened with Lima, I don't think we go anywhere near there.
Okay.
Mute just needs to turn up. Like, that's the biggest thing. Like, we need to see MuteAce. We need Genesis run MuteAce right now.
We do. But it's just for MuteAce versus 12-1 MVD.
Yeah, which be greater? Air dodge coverage, not even there to try and close it. Mute does finally catch a roll in, at least with that back air.
And the story, him telling, you know, like the reporters, yeah, I lost to getting Doofus and Pools, then I won DreamHack.
So I lost to Doofus. Like, bro, at least say his name.
And then
like, no, actually.
MuteAce. Like, it's just incredible. But
So,
it's not done yet.
It's going to be one story to tell. Definitely one that you got to be really happy about after this tournament if you do get it done. That up tilt was very, very close. I don't know if it would have killed, but it would have been pretty close.
Full raid? I think so, actually.
Might have. Another 10% will guarantee that for sure. MuteAce does not want any trades, but at this point, what are you going to do about stopping him?
It'll kill him now for sure. In fact, multiple things will. Maybe even that passive C4, which might just blow up if you look at it funny.
It's right there. Looked at it, but you know what the funny face was? It was the turnip. Just turned like, whoo. Well, now it is cooked, deep fried, and bad things are happening. MuteAce is now down 4-0 against the Shed. Look at how calm MVD is up there right now. He is so prepared to win. He was laughing, having a good time all of the sets prior to this, but now at this point, the finish line is right there. The goal is right there, and he is only 2 games away, a potential 6-0 of taking DreamHack Dallas 2023.
And a $2,000 first place. So I think would be his biggest tournament this year, for sure. $2,000.
I think not even just the money, the pride and the good feel of being able to do it again against the caliber of something like that, because we all know how good MVD is. but the caliber and skill of Ultimate in general, everybody keeps getting better. And everybody keeps figuring out how to play Snake. All of the people who didn't know before, they know now. And this is,
okay.
I don't know.
This game plan. Did they go back here? Or what was game one?
We were so we started off Stadium, and we have come. And the last time that happened too, when MuteAce had the counter pick, also went back to small battlefield.
He's already lost 2 games during this set. He lost 2 games in a row, first set on small battlefield.
Can't imagine what he's trying to avoid, or what MVP is banning is the biggest thing. Like, what is
it's gotta be FD, right?
It's got to be FD. Yeah, the flat stage has got to be it because I think he wants that platform pressure because he's always winning off of it. I knew forward air was upcoming. I kind of wanted it to land, but like he's playing so confident. Maybe this defensive passive play from MuteAce might be what takes it.
And honestly, the more I think about it, man, into the stage doesn't even matter right now. I think this is just a snake on fire.
I think like I know nobody wants to hear this, and it's one of the win conditions of the game though. You need to play the clock a lot better. Like take your time, slow it down a ton. If you got to go towards time frame, you don't want to do that against Snake, sure, but rushing recklessly into MVD has only gotten you punished.
Yeah. And I think he's slowly adjusting to MVD's flow chart here. He notices every time he jumps from ledge trying to get him, he drops that C4 and auto blows it up. And really good air dodge, only took a little bit. And still no first stock. Stitch in hand. Is this the RNG he was waiting for? It is. And what if I told you this has to be the game?
All right. So this one does need to be the game. You need to make things happen. C4 is not going to find his mark, even though that's a very long air dodge. But you can have asked for better to finally get the first stock against MVD for the past like 12 games.
You need something else here. Okay, there you go. All right. I think the 6-0 is canceled.
Very luckily as well that he did not re-grab that.
That's what he needed. We should have enough percent here to get MVD into a deadly string.
Might happen now. MVD starting to get hit by some straight stuff. And one of the things that can happen here, many people in this position, you're doing so well. You get, and then you see the vision in front of you, see the W in front of you. And then you all of a sudden start to overthink everything.
Yep. You just gotta forget the past, right? Forget everything that happened to this point. You're down 1-0. That's the story. You can change that story very easily.
Oh, that's an air dodge that was forced right there, too, off the break on the Cypher. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Don't start calling in the ambulance just yet from Mute because there is still some life in this run.
Yeah, not by any means done. I think this is just first stock the game. Like that theory has held true for the past like half hour.
Wait a minute. That was so clean, and there was so many options covered to it. To turn up on the right, Mute is now playing. This is what we were waiting to see out of Mute, and so far MVD has had 0 answers to this.
But I want to remind you, MVD won this exact situation percent in stock against Dakpo maybe 20 minutes ago.
That's true. That is very true. He did bring it all the way back, and one forward air can change MVD's fortune at any time off stage. That move is so strong. So Mute, biggest thing, just don't let the lead get away.
Yep. Okay. He won't die until 160, and he's almost there.
Toss, covering him on ledge, covering roll, covering everything, and turn the toss down to trying to get up the pre-buffer an option to go into roll. That's a regrab, but Cypher eats the hit.
This is that a percent or a credit score? My God.
All right, well, take it off the board, and it is not going to be a 6-0.
We have a set, we have a situation. It's 1-1 if you ignore, put everything in a vacuum. It's an even set.
Yep, we got a game. We finally got a game because the only person who was playing the game for a good while there was MVD. But that is now 1-1. Like you said, this is now the most crucial one in terms of stage counter pick. You have to get this game through if you want to keep advantage of where you're going to go. And we've seen already that the past few games, they've been willing to switch off of PS2.
Yeah. Probably, I could see him going back again, just because he's won a lot of games there. But okay, Hollow Bastion makes sense too. That little, truly a snake, but he's going to build, and I'll give MuteAce any room for safety.
Yeah, I think this, I can't remember whether it was against Lima or Dakpo, but he went here before as well.
Yeah.
And there's so much that works for Snake here because that singular platform in the center is now an explosive playground.
All around it, you can't be anywhere near that stage.
If you haven't, go to the, I think it's SmashData.com, whatever the website is that has all the hitboxes. Look up that C4 hitbox. It's quite funny.
This is why you normally don't see Smashville anymore be allowed to any of the Snake players because of how much that covers. But and since the introduction to Hollow Bastion, they have a new place they can go there. And there it is again. He always puts the C4 there because of just how much you get out of that being right in that position.
Yep. Okay. Now he's okay. He's happy to trade that. I think just make sure it's the last one you trade. If you do, you're putting a couple percent.
Mr. Boxer, I think MuteAce has woken up.
I think he heard me.
I think we finally got to that point. He's gonna end up losing that one though, and like history does show that that first stock does go to whoever gets the first stock does end up taking the game.
H-Box theory says it's actually 2-1 currently.
The statistics prove they should, you're already marking out like the engineer, like the path right now.
Hey man, data is important.
It is, and the statistics are one we do not challenge here in Smash often because most of the time it ends up staying consistent. But 54% already on the board for MuteAce. MVD has played a little bit slower, I will say that. It does look like he's slowing down, but at least for him, he's getting all the trades he needs right now in the second stock.
Yeah. I think part of it too, believe it or not, is like by slowing it down, it just lets him get more turnip pulls, and maybe he's looking for that variety. Maybe he's looking for that dot eyes, looking for that stitch. So I'm gonna give him a little extra, a bit of a boost.
Yeah, counteractive answer. You want to camp me? I'm gonna get a better resource because of it. Let's see if that plays out. Turn the toss actually stopped the C4. Jumps into it again. Luckily for him, he didn't die. But I think that whole theory of it being 2-1 is not only in stock count, but it's looking like it might be in set count as well.
You know, sometimes when you're in the middle of a bracket run, especially a deep run, you're near the end, it like settles in. When you're a marathon runner, you can see the finish line, and you sort of get that like, holy crap, I'm about to do it.
Yeah.
He's not quite there, but I think if he gets this game, this stock, he's going to let that confidence push him to the very end.
Speaking of that marathon, you need a second win against MuteAce too. You have to be able to keep it going because once you slow down, MuteAce will tear you apart. And MVD hasn't done that. Even with that game loss, back into this position here in Game 3, it's looking exactly the same way that he's been doing that got him up to a 12-2 or 13-2 at this point in loser side.
Right.
That hurt though, and it only took 40%, or excuse me, 4%.
Massive stock here. Who will take the lead on this reset and be overwhelmingly statistically the favorite team in the tournament?
Yep.
Just one stock decides it.
Being up 2-1, grand finals reset, stage counter pick in your favor. We've already seen they've been switching between Small Battlefield and Hollow Bastion, so that's going to matter a ton depending on who walks away with this.
You know, your stamina is tried. You've been here all day. It's just things you have to adjust to.
Yeah, it takes a lot of stamina for both of them to play this type of way too, because even though it's, you know, they're not interacting a whole lot right now, the fact that you have to keep a close eye and control the routes between both of these characters, it's not easy to do this long in the bracket.
Okay, hold on. Mute found a little flowchart here. Throwing up a grenade, or throwing up trips.
Trying to actually get some hits out of disadvantage. There's a free punish on the air dodge. He's going to take back here. Now, what does he do on coverage? A ledge down there poking through, but he's already put on a lot of damage. He's sitting at 109.
1-2.
Covers him again. The air dodge in. MuteAce has picked it up. Might not be that 2-1. This might be the first time that first stock doesn't lead to the victory.
Held right there, float on shield. Just waiting for any reaction here, too.
And everything about that position, too, equals no bad things from Mute. You stay right there. At most, you take an aerial or one grenade. You drop down over by him, you get grabbed. You might get reversed off stage, and he goes for a forward air.
I think he remembered just in time. What makes him such a threat in these tournaments, he can defer the end of the game as long as he wants to, it feels like it. Because spacing is that good in micro.
We mentioned it before. One of the things that Mute had to do is play to the clock. He's already underneath 3 minutes, but also this is exactly how he won last year. When Mute was giving him such a problem, he slowed it down so much that Lima was giving such a problem, there's nothing he could do to get in. Now, it's feeling very similar here. Any straight hit, forward air, up air probably takes it. Dash attack, if he could get through the grenade. A lot of things going good for Mute.
Yeah, but remember, he just needs... if he gets him to like 80, 90, it's kill percent.
Yep, that's actually very true. That's 71%. Oh,
this is
no.
even. This is even.
This determines so much. This
oh
is such
my
an
God.
important match in the set.
Oh my God! Oh! H actually hit that! He hit that!
He was at 80. 97%.
What a comeback!
And he got punted off the screen, but he was not giving up the ball. Instead, he was scoring. That is now a 2-1 lead for MVD, who was at 190 plus. The very first thing we talked about is the average lifespan of Snake at the beginning of the set.
Unmatched.
And it truly is unmatched.
And this is tournament point for MVD to complete the 13-1. Oh my God.
My God. This would be such a huge win for MVD.
Clutch
confidence-wise, man. No, truly. How many times has he done that so far on this run?
It's been a ton. It's actually, like I said, if you're a Snake player, you're definitely gonna want to play like this run. It's really showcasing what Snake can do in the right hands. And my first stock theory still holds true.
That's true. That was the
10
closest.
games in a row.
That was the closest it was to not playing out in exactly how it's always been, but he still did it.
But the data said, no, it's me.
All right, well, data is starting to showcase once again. You know, it says 82% sitting over for MVD, and if he takes that first stock, everything has proven that that would probably be that 3-1 victory he's looking for.
Yep. And let's see, theoretically, he's, one up tilt away from winning the tournament?
Yeah, one up tilt right now is your championship winner. It might be the case momentarily. He already burned his double jump.
Okay. Mute's still trying to be careful. He must be just frustrated given how careful he was being in the last game and still did not work out in his favor.
I mean, I think Mute played perfectly in how you needed to approach that last game. Like, that can't be undersold. But you can only do so much against the power that MVD has. However, he did bring it all the way back to 118, so now he at least has a kill option here.
And we just talk about Snake's up tilt. Just definitely one of the moves of all time.
It really is one of the moves of all time. Like, even with the changes, it's still snatching so many victories away.
This is back to even Mute, not forfeiting that first stock just yet.
Most flexible man in the business is out here still just stretching out these dubs and that.
Bro.
Whoa, oh my God, there's the trade.
Congrats to your winner of DreamHack, Dallas 2023 MVD. I'm calling it.
Hey, every single time the first stock has gone to someone, it has been one. Granted, he only took 0 there, but
true.
Still the statistics have been heavily in favor of that first stock being the winner.
Let's see it. Let's see the data in real time, the signs play out.
This time, at least for MuteAce, every single time that's happened, a big part of why he always ended up losing those situations is because Mute would take about 60 to 80 off the trades just trying to get that kill after losing that first stock. This time, at least, it was nothing at all.
Okay, even that Nair didn't connect. Still 2 hits is good. Grenade. Yeah, you can't let himself get hit by just a small grenade, right?
Yeah.
Each can take 8 of those, and then you're in danger, right?
Yeah, the danger zone is rapid fire in this matchup. It's a big reason why. Like, how many times have we seen early low percent combos from Peach? The answer is very minimal because how much is in the way for Snake and how often MVD is staying in the air. That
rolls in, and how many times this is it! Tournament point for MVD, 1 stock away from $2 grand in his pocket, and the title of DreamHack Dallas to prevent the 2-peat from happening. MuteAce against the wall, trying to find some insane shield pressure with aerials and turnips, and MVD just wants to stick to his same game plan. Nerves are racking in here. You can tell.
Trying to prevent that back-to-back championship from MuteAce here. If he can shut it down, Mute already taking a lot of straight hit damage. Gonna avoid that, smartly holding off on his shield to tilt it away from getting shield poke there.
Oh my God, these aerial options, so clever from MVD. News of Upstorm is coming too. C4 comes down. Tries to go high. The air dodge in the perfect time. Drops a grenade for safety.
He's got C4 right over by him too, so he's got to be very careful about how he goes. Grenade's going to pop back up, and the C4 does get avoided. That side B comes through, but not enough to get the KO yet.
Such good DI. Did he recover here? He does with the grenade catch, and he's still living, Ajax.
That was so smart to be able to get back on. The C4's in the way. The upper comes through. MuteAce fighting for damn life right now to keep things alive, but that is not looking too hot. He's already taken 55%.
Okay, but remember MuteAce, low percent combos. Ajax! Oh my God! Is this going to be game 5? He takes it. Goes back to the stage. What a miraculous comeback so far for this game 4 on MuteAce, who is not giving up. Both these players want it so bad.
That was so close to being a 0 to death essentially from Peach on that turnip combo, but that's exactly what Mute needed to wake up. Mute coming in with that turnip toss back down just now, avoiding the C4 and keeping it going. Does the back end push him back off stage.
This feels like a game 10, but if MuteAce wins this, we got one whole more match to go. But MVD doesn't want that. You can tell the fatigue is settling in. Mute at 77. Remember what happened last time when he was. Oh! Oh! Oh, the frustration on MVD's face. He was that close.
At the very first time amongst all of this tournament run so far for MVD that we've seen in the top 8, that first stock going in his favor didn't end up leading to the victory.
And I think it's because he got no extra credit.
That 100%. Taking no damage on that second stock made the complete difference.
We are on our last Super Smash Brothers game of the weekend here at DreamHack Dallas. One game remains. Bases are loaded. 2 games apiece. Vegas versus Texas. Who will take this finale?
Texas. I know everybody's out in the crowd there. I know everybody's having a good time. You got one more left. It is game number 5, Grand Finals reset. MVD, MuteAce, one of these two stands on top of the podium with that championship trophy. Game 5 starts now.
It's about as good of a Grand Finals as you could ask for, and you love to see it. I love when Grands is the best set of the tournament, the Argentina versus France finale. You want that storyline.
That's a World Baseball Classic. Yet another one right there. Everything has been so good for championships all year round, and we got yet another one here now. MuteAce has been finding a lot more combos and forcing the air dodge. It looks like he's starting to get him a little bit more afraid here, 8th box.
Okay, this is it. Grabs the grenade in his own hand. MuteAce saying, this is my stage. Oh my god,
what in the
fair
world
in the air. Was that 40? 40%
Where
for
did
no reason.
Bro, he hit him with the thighs, bro. Like the leg day is not being skipped by Snake whatsoever.
It's not. Back here. You know, just for the sake of the story, would be so sick for the 13-1 to happen. But man, if it was easy, it would be special. Right?
Absolutely. Like, if you want to earn it, you got to earn it right away. And currently, getting slapped up in the face, saying, wake up, I'm the one who's trying to take it back.
Oh my god. And I think, yeah, I just thought MVD had the slightest of head shakes when he lost that game 4. So I think he knew, like, I'm not getting a giveaway that easily either. And he said, yeah, you can see on this player cam, just frustration settling in.
The main thing
but he found the clutch C4.
You got the hit. Remember, you got to remain composed here. Things went bad. Things went south. Sure, doesn't matter, though. You still got a game. You still got a chance. And MVD has been playing so well that you can't get comfortable here either.
And then he just brought the whole thing back. MuteAce cannot let these C4 connect the way it does. Okay, they're both trading right now. This is crazy.
We are absolutely heading towards a last stock type situation here in this game. They have been going back and forth. That Nair's going to send it back off stage. Does he find the forward air at the ledge again? No Cypher got in the way.
Careful. Look at how precise he's spacing out here. Such a statement can be made.
C4 right there.
C4, he thought he stuck him, but he was on the ground.
Grenade
goes high. Fair misses. Oh.
Nice solid frame trap attempt right there, but like you said, the forward air missing. He's at 164 though. Then there finds his Mute is one more game away from being the 2-time champ.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is it. The repeat could happen here. We've seen MVD win this exact situation so many times today. Can he do it one more time? Grenades both missing. MuteAce finds percent still at 87. He might have found the spacing now.
And C4 hovering over there on the other side. Yeah, you got to float away from that. You got to reset that position now if you're MVD, but taking a look at that 98, that's up tilt windows. It's not that comfortable for MuteAce right now, and the C4 does it. It's
last stock, game 5. The most beautiful part of Smash Bros. Is right before your eyes. This is it. It comes down to the next maybe 30 seconds, if that. I'm not even sure. But will MVD find it? Mute finding his own little aerial string. Snake nowhere near dead yet, of course, but he's racking percent. He goes underneath. MuteAce. Good mix-up with the grab. Oh my god, 91 already.
Grenade comes out. So close. Does he drop down to force him to have to stay still? Mute looking for a forward air or something pretty soon. But MVD, we've seen him already do it before. He can get damage on extremely fast and find himself an even game very soon. That's why Mute is being very careful about where he goes in, as long as he has to turn up behind it.
Oh my god. Oh, careful there. Okay, he avoided that second follow-up hit. Which would have been bad. Still not too dangerous for Snake. He got a sticky.
He got stick in there. MuteAce has got to be careful because he might try to steal one off the top. Smartly holding shield. Do not let him steal one.
Dot ice. Oh no, the grab. This might be an Ajax.
He's got to go high. He's got to avoid it. And the
Oh!
MuteAce is going to stop the attempt from MVD. And your two-time winner here on the stage, Acebox, goes over to MuteAce, taking it once again here at DreamHack Dallas.
What a set from these two. I mean, you wanted the storyline, you wanted the bloodshed, and blood was shed. These two pushing each other to their absolute limit here on sunny June in Dallas. MuteAce walks away your champion.
Well, kudos to Mute for being able to solve MVD, because MVD looked unstoppable for a good portion of that whole grand finals, but all it took was one game to finally get some confidence, slowed him down. You could see it. You could see the frustration slowly build up. Like, I am so close. I can't let this get away. And then Mute took full advantage of that.
I mean, that Game 4 comeback is exactly what MVD had been doing the whole tournament. Let's give a round of applause for MVD, a 12-2 run. 12-2 from round 1 losers loss, bringing it all the way to Grants. But only one can win, of course. Congrats to 26R. MuteAce taking home the prize and $2 grand.
What an insane tournament run. And again, you know, it's not easy to go back-to-back. It's not easy to defend the house sometimes back-to-back against someone like that. But Vegas gets pushed out of the picture, and instead it's going to stay right here in Texas, going back home to MuteAce. And that's going to be pretty much it for us tonight, too.
Yeah, and that is going to be the production. Everyone, thank you for watching both the Melee portion and the Ultimate portion. It's a great game. It's a great way to keep it alive. And as always, we'll see you next time. Congrats to MuteAce.